Love that. Claire, did you take notes? You got the idea of some feedback on that?
Yeah.
Now, the inside of this, love the open white space. It's breathable. It's easy to read. The one thing that's missing is any kind of long body copy, a story, because all I'm really seeing is just a bunch of features, not benefits.
There's a little bit above there.
Yeah, Frameworks is an art consulting, picture framing, and large form printing company in Miami. With our extended family of printers, we can provide innovative and creative solutions for all your needs. We love solving your problems. So that's very corporate.
Okay.
So remember, key person of influence is called key person of influence, not key corporation of influence, right? So what we want to do is we want to put a face to the name. Or in your case, we want to put two faces to the name, you and Chris, right? So because of that, I don't see anything about you and Chris in here, and maybe for you guys, it might be you and your whole team, right? Because it's easy for me to look at Frameworks as a commodity-driven service that's price-based only, and I don't give a crap about you or anybody because you're a company. I'm corporate, obviously, right? But the moment that I know that you and Chris are a couple, and that you've been in business for 30 years, and that you employ people that have been there for over 20 years, and I see their smiling faces and you interacting with them, now I have a harder time saying no to you because now it's no longer a commodity, it's a community. It makes sense? Yeah. So I'd love to see this thing become way more, like you've got pictures of your machines, I'd rather have you pictures of the people who operate the machines. And you can even say that, right? Anybody can put pictures of their machines on their brochure, but only Frameworks of Miami can put these people in their brochures. This is the heart and the soul of our business. It's not the technology, it's the touch. Or something, like that kind of a thing. And now this all of a sudden creates a story to where I want to fight for the underdog, that one guy in the brochure or something like that. Or I want to look at the celebrity, the guy who was on Project One Runway Accessories and go, holy crap, they have a national celebrity that works for their, that's the kind of stuff that would be really kind of cool. Now, having said that, you have to always be cautious about how you put your staff into the brochures because you print them and then 3 weeks later you fire them or they quit or something all the time. Yeah.
Hey, can you Photoshop this guy out of there?
Yeah.
Oh,
so a way around that would be, number one, only put the ones that you know are going to be there, your lifers, right? You could do that. The other thing is you could just have an insert that talks about the team as well, and then that's a lot more cost effective.
Right.
What about the printer, though? I mean, so based on, I've worked with printers, and it seems like they're kind of like gearheads. So I think there is some value.
I was going to say, they would probably appreciate seeing the printer because they're going to get a hard on for some $1 machine that they can't afford.
Really kind of more rednecky that would be sending it to.
Sure.
So hot girls and printers.
And beer. Cold ones.
So here's the thing about rednecks. Rednecks are just like people.
Jillian and rednecks all in the same conversation.
That's the man who's running for mayor.
Rednecks are just like people, only with better gun racks. So they still do respond to human interaction versus machine interaction.
Yeah.
I'm not saying then pull the machines off, but this shouldn't be a tech spec thing. This really should be.
Okay, so we could just have people working on the machines so they can see that there. Okay.
Yeah. All right, cool. So
Did you
that
say
one's
you had
there.
a big facility? Is it a big?
Yeah, 40,000 square foot or something.
Can you do like almost a drone shot over the whole thing with the whole team? Not.
Yeah, like if you did something like that, like a
That's a pretty
drone
good
shot,
idea,
and if
too.
you
Yeah.
open this up,
To see
this
the
is the
vastness.
entire facility,
Yeah.
and you see the people reading, and then it's just kind of ghosted in the back. That'd be pretty badass.
Okay, go
Then they would really see all the
Yeah.
Hold on, Grant. For a finance guy, that was very right-brained and creative.
I can't do what I do.
Very
You know, I
impressive.
can help you do that.
Just wait till we get to this piece
Yeah.
of crap.
I'm excited.
All right.
I'm going to crawl under the table. I don't ever want mine to come up.
All right, next brochure. We got Source One Solutions. So, front cover says, "Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain." Right? Does this screen pick me up or open me, or I want to look
Can we
inside?
see it?
Yep. Sure. Pass that around.
He refused to play.
That's from Wizard of Oz.
There's other things I wanted to do, I just could not find the imagery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had a real,
Yeah,
I had
that's
a
all
real hard time, and I wasn't drawing it, I'm not gonna lie. But
That's not.
I'm impressed by it. I really am. I'm impressed.
Firm, and you just want to hand that to everybody, right?
So what's the verdict? Yes or no? You want to open it? Yes or no?
Yes.
it's dark for me.
I do want to open it.
Yep.
I honestly don't want to say it, but I do want to open it.
Yeah.
Like,
Thanks, John.
Yeah. So here's what I think about that. I think it is too dark visually.
Yeah.
But I love the phrase "pay no attention to the man behind the curtain." That's what makes me want to open it.
Exactly,
Not
yeah,
the imagery.
yeah, yeah.
Yep. And granted, you were looking for some images you couldn't find what you
Exactly.
want.
And
So
also, granted, I don't have a Mac. I'm working off a PC. So
Oh,
yeah.
God.
So
there you go.
it reeks of skank.
Yeah.
Reeks of PC.
Yeah. So because of that,
No,
I'm
the
mixed on
words
that.
and everything, for me, it's heavy.
Yeah. But the whole idea that you're going
Yeah.
for, I think absolutely
I know.
works.
There's like a genesis
Yeah.
there.
You need a graphic designer to font treat it, to graphic treat it, and I think if you
I
have
seriously
the
just
concept-
wanted the curtain and like a light shining on it. I
Yep.
couldn't find it anywhere, so
Yeah,
I had to
you're,
go what I
you're fine. Stick
Yeah.
with it. Now, the Wizard of Oz is going to be a copyright
Yeah.
violation, so you'll probably have to find a Wizard of Oddish
Right.
kind
Yeah.
of graphic, or just get rid of it and literally get a curtain.
Yeah.
And honestly, you know, it'd be kind of, I don't know if you guys want to go for this route, but if there was a curtain, and then sticking out of the curtain was a dude with the butt crack, and it said, "Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain."
My
It's
redneck? You're gonna
Well,
do that to my redneck?
Seriously, there were some ones with curtains and some weird dudes sticking
Yeah,
out of them.
yeah.
I could not go that route. I was trying to.
Yeah.
I really was trying to like.
And I'm not, I get it. You guys are corporate. And once again, corporate executives are just like people. They only drive better cars, but they still respond to
Yeah.
humor. They respond to that. So,
I wasn't thinking butt crack. I'm not gonna lie.
don't get rid of that. Then you open that, by the way. Now, here's what I will tell you. The darkness does contrast real well with the lightness on the inside, right? So that's kind of cool. I love we can help you with that. I love the image. That once again, that's a stock photography. You'd probably replace that with something that Michael would do with you guys, with your team, or something like that. And that's cool. And obviously, I think if you had Rob there, you there, Sean there,
Yep.
you know that, and then probably also Tracy as well, just to make sure that you're not looking like it's a total dude company or something like that. That'd be cool. Yeah, font treat this. So here's the text. I'll just read this to you. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It says, with Source One Solutions service and support, you'll always get the benefit of our local service techs as well as our worldwide technical experts to solve your problems quickly and effectively. The sorcery and wonder of the old model of doing business is not an option for our team or your business. White glove service means you are a priority to ensure the magic box on the wall and your business and functioning to their full capacity. We build a proactive monitoring around, I feel like Donald Trump, reading a teleprompter. We build our proactive monitoring around globally approved and adopted practices to provide you 24/7 alerting and escalation support with just-in-time on-site support. Our NOC procedures and help desk personnel ensure we know about potential issues as soon as possible, avoiding a break-fix scenario by providing proactive responses to issues. Never mind the man behind the curtain, it's just Source One Solution. I like the last sentence.
Yeah, it was
whether
very
it's
wordy.
pretty tied in.
Yeah.
Well, and this is what you get from people that are tech head engineers, right? So this needs to be treated with it. Like, if I were you, I'd go hire Alejandra for a couple $100 to write this for you and tell the story. And honestly, I think the most compelling thing I've ever heard come out of any pitch from you, Sean, Rob, or anything, always goes back to the story about his black lab. What's his name?
I don't remember the name of the dog. I just the story.
Too soon. So if you guys don't know the story,
I'm not
his
telling them that.
CEO, in his pitch, he says, the reason why I'm so passionate about security systems is that when I was 12 years old, I came back from my family from a family vacation to find that some punks had ransacked our house and stole my grandmother's jewelry. And worst of all, they beat up our black lab Lucky. And like as soon as he says that, like nobody gives a shit about grandma's heirlooms and jewelry. But it just, and then he goes, so for me, this isn't business, this is personal. And it really is a gripping story, right? The moment you put that story with the picture of Rob and his dog, even if it ain't the same dog, right? It's obviously not. I gotta tell you,
Because people are gonna be like, "Wow, that dog is old."
old, yeah. By the way, you know what? I gotta
The
tell
story
you,
should be about that this dog is still alive.
I'll tell you what. You put a picture in here that he goes back and finds from his parents' photo albums of him and that dog, and that will be a tear-jerking, emotional thing where they go, "This company, it's easy to say no to an engineer. It's hard to say no to a man who owns a dog."
All you have to do is go to a puppy bowl.
Yeah.
14th year puppy bowl.
Let's see, on the
Just
right-hand
bullet
side,
points. It's
you've
just-
got some bullet
yeah,
points.
okay.
This is more features and that kind of stuff. I'm not going to read through that, but it's not bad. I would almost see you get rid of this, put this over there, and put Rob's story over there. Yeah, if you could do
Use
that
this for the managed services side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I bother you? What is your password?
for
Here.
For hostway guest.
Yeah.
Welcome guest, all lowercase.
That's okay.
I think it might have a underscore in between welcome guest. Or it's just all welcome guest. Yeah. And then the back, put your contact information as well. But actually, dude, I'm supremely impressed.
Well, I
I
appreciate
really
that.
am. Yeah. All right. Let's.
Sounds like anything you did is better than what I did.
I don't think you did anything. All right. So the next one we got is Patty. This is her brochure for style consulting. So here's the cover. We'll pass that around. Let me know if it passes.
Wait, I brought extra copies.
Oh, all right.
All
In
right.
that case, we'll just,
Wow, we
Not
just
that
be
many,
way
but just a
fancier
couple.
than everybody.
It's not that fancy. It's like tape.
You know, also just to
There's
the
one
point
for
about
this side
Rob,
and two
whatever,
for that
try
side.
to separate that part because Rob's story revolves around the security piece.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And I'm trying to stay away from the security piece.
Okay.
Because I'm all about
It's
the
all
IT.
service.
Are you doing work with
In
women?
that case, put your story.
Hmm?
in
Are you doing a lot of work with women?
Yeah.
I took about
No
50-50.
imagery.
Huh?
No imagery.
Knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. American flag.
Actually, there is some imagery that might be really cool there, which would be like I remember after I was there 4 days after 9/11, and I remember seeing all the missing posters, which really weren't missing posters; they were
Oh,
little
yeah,
memorials, right? It was just chilling, and all the ribbons on the fences,
Yeah.
and those kind of images might be.
In 4 days, it was still pretty dusty and still pretty dank. And
Dude, there were nonstop ambulances
Oh, yeah.
still going
Yep.
in and out after 4 days of 9/11. It was,
I went to 3 funerals that consisted of a finger.
oh,
Damn.
That's little.
What was the source? I don't understand.
He
I,
was-
went to, I was in the North Tower on the 10th of September.
And we can put
I,
that one
I
up
went to
if you want
33
it.
funerals, so
Yeah.
all right, so guys, quick yes, quick no. Does this screen pick me up, or I want to open it? Charles.
Yes.
Bruce? Yeah.
Some stuff needs to be done. I think that could make it.
Great. Yeah, it needs to be treated.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like,
Well, I think if you just had one image rather than two, because two, you're literally just saying like, either or, so you're dividing your message. So I would choose
Mhm.
one strong one, and then make those words loud as hell.
in my
the one on the
opinion,
bottom is really strong.
yeah, in
That's
my
one of-
opinion, though, I think she was trying to get across that it's not just about men; it's
Well,
also
but
about
she
women.
specializes in men, don't you?
it's both. My
Well,
clientele runs 50-50.
So here's the thing. We're going to go back to this. This is one I'll probably just be pushing you for the rest of your business until you finally realize how awesome it would work. Push men. If that's the one that you feel has the biggest revenue, biggest customer base, the biggest need, just push men. Women will still join in, right?
Okay.
It's the
You also,
velvet rope
you also
mentality.
Okay.
think women think they know, no offense, whereas guys are more apt to say like, dude, I got no idea.
Here's what I find when I work with people. Women don't know and are very insecure about how they look. And the men just are like clueless and just clueless.
Which one's easier to sell though, based upon that? You know, is it the guy
So
that?
that's quite a comment about
It's easier for me to hone in on the weakness of the woman
Gotcha.
when I work one-on-one with people, but when I do a presentation, it's easier for the men.
So here's the thing. You could actually have two brochures if you really want to do that, but I don't recommend it. And just
Yeah, I
one
don't
with a
want
cover
to. I
page.
agree with you.
But when I look at this, it confuses me, and I don't know if it speaks to me. Whereas if it was just the dude, I'd go, "That's me." Boom.
Okay, that
if
makes
it
me
was
really happy because the dude's now the cover shot on my website.
Yeah.
Good.
And if it was
So
just
I'm really
the
happy
woman,
to
I
hear
would
y'all
go,
say that.
"Not for me."
The
Yeah.
only thing I don't like is the command the room statement.
Really?
Yeah.
What about own the room?
Yeah, something along those lines.
Okay.
You know, change it up. I mean, I get the concept of
Yeah.
the phrase. I just don't.
Okay.
Again, I do a ton of government work, so command has a totally different
Totally
meaning
different
for me.
meaning
You
for
know,
you.
deal
Well,
with
so
generals.
let's
I'm
let's
sorry?
Do you own these photos?
Yes.
so let's ask the men in the room then. So own the room, command the room, or something else for the room, John?
I like less syllables, so I would say
Okay. Great.
Yep, so,
Let's Okay. So own the room. Yeah. All right. Now, having said that, we open up. Style Edges and image consulting business. So once again, this is all company based, but there's no Patty in here, right? So we have a little bit of Patty on the back. I'd like to put Patty up on that here, this business is about you. Even when you scale out and you're not the one who does it, right? It's still Wolfgang Puck, right? It's still Jamie Oliver. It's still Gordon Ramsay. But they don't cook the food at their restaurants, right? But it's still them. Same style here. It's your ethos. It's your philosophy, and that's the thing you want to push. So I would make this more about you versus less about Style Edge. And then the other thing, this is a personal preference. John, I'd like your input on this as well because you guys design brochures a lot. I am not a fan of pictures inside boxes. I think it subconsciously creates a limitation or a restriction. Where when images, and by the way, I get it, you're not a graphic designer, so this is just stuff for the future when you hire the designer to do it, which is the next step today, right? Tell them that you want the images to bleed off the edge of the pages.
And you want copy space.
So for example, if you look at, I'm going to use his example here. I'll find so every one of these images, it bleeds right off the edge. And so what happens is, yes, there is a border there, but it's borderless. So this creates more of a unlimited possibilities imagery. But when you see this, it confines me, right? And I want to have the exact opposite effect when I hire you to help consult me. It's like, I want to be able to just go all the way out there, right? So make sure that you're really promoting those images.
Okay.
And for you, I think this would be a great place for you to go Apple-esque, right? And zoom in on the tie, zoom in on the cufflink, right?
I have pictures for that. Yeah, I do. I have that.
Because it's about the details, right? And I think if you have these big, huge images that aren't necessarily gender specific, but still very male, I think that's going to speak more. The other thing about pictures with people in them, and this goes into for everybody to look at, is that I love images with you in them. I love images with your team in them. But I also like nondescript imagery, which allows me as the reader to put myself in the image. The downside about putting images of you in them is that now there's no room for me to be in the picture. So this is more of a speaker technique, right? Like I tell speakers all the time, get those stupid images on your slides with you standing in front of your Rolls Royce in your house. Get rid of those things and just have a picture of the Rolls Royce. Because then I can imagine myself in the Rolls. Get rid of the picture of you in front of the mansion, just have the mansion. So I can imagine myself in it. Same kind of a vibe in this. Yeah, it's a delicate balance. So try to create images where I may not realize. I might go, that's my cufflink.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. That would be the feedback I give you for that one. Let's go to Lending Associates Recreational Financing Simplified. So pass around. Does the brochure screen pick me up, or does the cover screen open me?
The big arrow.
I had to leave an hour early last time, so I didn't even know we had a brochure.
Got it.
I definitely didn't know the punishment.
Fair enough.
So I just,
That's all right.
John didn't let me know.
So it's John's fault.
It is.
That actually
It's
went
always
yeah.
my
He
fault.
was nervous at lunch today, and now I know why.
He was just trying to one up.
So what do you guys think? Yes or no?
I'm a no on that.
No?
I don't like it. I'm a no.
Okay,
Just say
yeah,
no.
fair enough. Yeah.
Actually, I would just read it. I like the
okay.
look.
Patty?
Yeah.
There's nothing distinguishing from other.
Generic. Okay. So here's what I think would make this work. First off, I like the boat. It's way. By the way, this is as much as we're going to take the piss out of you, and make fun of you for being a financial guy with a brochure here, having no humans in the brochures whatsoever. Actually, I like the yacht thing. Right? It's kind of a cool thing. I think you could actually steal, since they never printed it anyway, the Just Go Away brochure. Did you see that last time? Were you here? So I was showing some examples, and there was a brochure I showed.
I didn't see the brochure at all.
I think the brochure should be shaped like a plane.
Yeah, I cut it. That would be expensive. No. Please bring me sample brochures that are in the white plastic box. So I'll give you an idea. What I want to do is I want to shock the reader. Right? So we have this brochure that says "Just Go Away," and there's like a leather portfolio, and it really just you look at it and you're curious as to why somebody would be such an ass to tell a prospect just go away. Then you open it up, and it's bright, vibrant blue Caribbean, and it's a cruise ship thing, right? They never printed the brochure. They should have. I would love to see something like that. What we really want to do here is we want to sell. Actually, let me ask you a question. Who is this brochure for, or who are you thinking? Is it? It's not for the end user getting the loan, or is it?
It is. It's to try to convey our 3-step process.
Perfect. Okay, cool. In that case, we really want to appeal to those dreams of luxury RVs, yachts, and planes. Okay. So, by the way, even a luxury yacht, a plane, and an RV would be better than these icons, I would think.
Okay.
But I like the yacht, but there's nobody there, right? So, based on what I just said, now can I imagine myself on the boat? Probably. This brochure, I'm going to guess, and I'm being sexist here, it's primarily a male audience, even though the wife is the one who approves it. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
So, you could go either way. I mean, you want to appeal to the wife, you want to appeal to the male. Maybe this is where you go total Viagra ad, right? And you have the elderly, late 40s, frosted gray hair with a beautiful woman on the yacht or something
Silver
like
fox.
that. The
That's
silver
old.
fox kind
No,
of a
I
thing. Yep.
would go younger ones, and I would go definitely after the wife.
It was so.
'Cause she's the one that's got.
Like
well,
an
It's
80-year-old
funny when I
guy,
see these
20-year-old
types
wife.
of
Yeah, that's
brochures. You
perfect.
brought up Viagra. That's what I think.
I
Sitting in the
actually
doctor's
think you
office
need
and
to
have
keep
all the
your-
medications
Here we
and
go.
everything else.
But
That's
it's
what the shape
because-
looks like.
They're the
Oh,
ones
and
that
by the way,
we-
definitely go square so it opens up into a panoramic thing because you really want to sell the whole adventure. That'll work much better, and I'll show you this brochure so you get a vibe for it here. By the way, Patty, look at this brochure from a zoomed-in close-up perspective.
Oh yeah, you showed us
Yeah,
this.
you
I
get the
remember
idea?
this now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's the brochure. You kind of like it's ugly, but you really want to know what the hell's the inside, and then you open it up, and then it shocks you so well, right? So that's the kind of effect I'd like to see. That it just speaks to the dream of owning the luxury vehicle, whether it's a plane
They
or an
didn't do
RV
that?
or something. No, they did. They went this far and they never printed it.
Why?
I don't know. You can consult a man to logic, but you can't make him think. I don't know. We fired his clients.
To Claire's point about, and this is just my opinion,
Yeah.
when it comes to the target audience,
Uh-huh.
I think, especially in the boat, RV, you get to that point where you're like, I'll do that when I retire. So they already have that in their mind. As a finance company, I would almost want to focus on the younger crowd and say this is something that's attainable now, and not something
Yeah.
that
This
you
is
have
where,
to wait to
yeah,
retire.
I mean,
this is where
yeah.
honestly it's out of my expertise, and it's in a man like this. His company would probably develop something
What's
far
what's
more.
the age group that buys a boat that's in your market? What's the
In my market, it's more in the 45 to 60s. It's a big range, but
well, then that's who you target.
decreasing a little bit now.
So you would use a model that's between the ages of probably around. Everybody looks at themselves as
By
2
the way,
years younger.
That image right there, that's kind of what I was thinking,
Oh, right on.
right? That ghosted image in there.
Mhm.
Like the Calvin Klein one under it.
Yeah. Once again, there's nothing about brand here, and so I really want you to sell the ethos of this man who's created this vision that's got, offices in 6 different states and whatnot. I want to know who you are. I love the story about you and your dad teaching you how to water ski, and literally go call your dad and say, hey man, do you have any pictures of us on our boat when we were kids? Those kind of things inside these brochures is what tells a story and makes it very personal.
And then
And
just
it's
a
harder to
short
say no
book.
to a human. It's way easier to say no to a finance company.
And in the end of your pitch, you bring up, we may be in the campsite next door doing s'mores
Yeah.
or
That's the one that
whatever.
always resonates.
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
picture you there,
And I
and
don't,
it's like
and that
embers
there's no,
coming out of the fire.
Yeah,
there's no
Grant going
personal
like this,
touch
like,
to that.
Yeah.
It's just
And by the way, Grant, I really think this might be something where it would be worse for you to drop $500 bucks or grand on a photographer to go out to a campsite with you, to where you can see the boat sitting in the water and try to get if you put the plane in this, it's a little bit too much, right? But if you can pull that imagery, right? Even if it's just you and your daughters, and you guys are looking at each other and you're roasting the marshmallows, it might be worth dropping the money for that kind of an image versus just going stock photography. Okay? Cool. Lewis, where's yours, man? Did you pass it up?
No, I got him up here.
All right, cool. we're going to save John for last because of marketing guys.
We're just chew it up,
We're
man.
just going to
Beat
chew
it
it up
up.
and spit him
I
out.
hate
for
that
the day.
thing.
Yeah.
If I had a lighter, I would have burned it on the way here.
All right. You get 2.
I did too, yeah.
Oh, look at this overachiever. All right. Are you started learning effectively? You do not need to be afraid of technology. Okay, so are these 2 for the same customer, or is this one for like? tell me
One
a
for
little bit about what-
education and one for private sector.
Gotcha. All right, cool. So let's go for the education one. I'm assuming it's this one first, right? All right, guys. So it's big enough I can just hold it up here. Does the brochure screen pick it up?
Or as a parent, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Or parent or teacher? Teacher probably.
It really doesn't matter.
Okay.
Most of the administrator.
What do you
yeah,
think?
There's,
Say that.
as a parent, I would
Like
say
remove the
no,
advert
because
effectively?
that's a picture that everybody has of the same thing.
It's not so much the picture; it's the words. How your students
The words,
learning
yeah.
effectively.
It's
Yeah,
mostly
you
for-
said take care of the adverb and pull that out so it just says, "Are your students learning?" Yeah, that's where this man's the pro. I like this. It does screen pick me up. I want to know more. So I think you've accomplished that goal. Love the shape. These are all stock photography. Graphic designer's going to come in and find better,
Right.
even better imagery as well. If you are frustrated with your technology situation, let us help. Let us help find a solution. Have that treated from a copy perspective if it's clunky. What we do, our process, about us. Okay, so now you got. So this is an example, right? So he could have easily gone into total IT mode, but he tells a story about us. L. Ortega and Associates of Tampa Bay LLC was created to provide an innovative and value-minded solutions to IT services field. The company was established in 2006 by Louis Ortega, who wanted to establish an IT services company that made IT simple and understandable for its clients and saw a demand in providing and delivering professional services with a high level of support to clients and its end users. Currently, the company has a dynamic team that strives toward the goal of always putting clients first and making them feel comfortable with the service being provided. Not bad for a first draft, right? Now I think what would make this even cooler is if there was a picture of you as the founder,
Right.
and then a caption below your picture that says something of an insight or a lesson that you've learned, right? You know, like, I don't know what that would be, but something about, we take pride in knowing that we've created a place where people getting out of college have a place to get, I don't know, like you'd have a
Right.
little story.
Right.
A little tiny short thing that all of a sudden now, you're not this guy that I don't know, but now you're a human being and you've actually got compassion because you care about these people or something.
Right.
I think that'd be really cool. Love the image. By the way, this does not look like an IT brochure, does it?
No.
And that's why I love it, because I promise you, by the way, if he passed this out to a school system and they were getting proposals from 5 other IT companies, would this brochure stick out? Way more than any of the other stuff that has probably pictures of computers and servers and all that kind of stuff that's so predictable, right? So
Did you actually take that picture on the cover in 1985? Because that's where those kids look like that. Right?
No, you know what? The hardest thing was I had my office and I told them, give me a picture of a classroom setting.
Yeah.
And all of the free pictures we could download was actually from the middle, from Asia.
Yeah.
It's like,
Because I'm pretty sure that kid's wearing tough skins. I'm just gonna tell you.
What if you had like a kid like picking his nose, like staring out the window?
by the way,
You know,
again,
like are they learning?
That's-
Yeah.
I will tell you this: if your brochure can get them to laugh on the cover, they'll open it every single time. And the rules for corporate B2B have changed over the past decade, and you can get away with stuff like that now. In fact, people appreciate it. So, like I just said, the guy with the butt crack sticking out of the curtain, it seems like, God, would they even take us seriously? First off, a brochure is not a sales tool, so that they'll take you seriously when you have the sales conversation. Right now, you want to entertain them. You
Absolutely.
want to get them to
Right.
I think that's actually pretty cool.
No,
right?
putting a butt crack on
Yeah, fine.
Just tell them.
Yeah, I get it.
And I actually am doing a huge project for Verizon right now in their wireless data centers. And there is a PowerPoint presentation that they want all of the engineers to look at before they go. And a big thing for Verizon is how the person looks when they get on site. And there is a specific point on that PowerPoint that says, no butt cracks allowed.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love it.
Are you serious?
That's honest
insane.
truth. Actually, you're like, really? It's in here? I'm like, he's like, this is where we are now. We have to tell people to wear a belt.
By the way, you know what you could do instead of the butt crack is you could just see like the work shoes, like a desk or something. I don't know, where there's a human so far underneath it, all you see are the shoes. You could do stuff.
I'd like to
that.
see like some guy who has tools that have nothing to do with information technology going in, you know, like a drill and a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, where are you going?
Right.
Yeah.
Blowtorch, you know.
Yeah, so I think if you did that, Louis should be doing real well. I think The phrase on the back is overselling it.
Right.
You've kind of already made the promise anyway. Now this one is for B2B.
Correct.
Not schools. Okay. You do not need to be afraid of technology. What do you guys think? Yes or no? It's not as strong as this one, obviously.
No.
Yeah, you're getting a mixed emotion for
That's
it.
a house.
I think one of the reasons why, yeah, by the way, that's a house, not a company, perhaps. One of the reasons why I think this commanded less versus this one is this one asked a question.
Mhm.
When you ask a question, I'm involved. This one made a statement. Have I talked to you guys about the difference between statements and questions and why the questions are way more powerful than the others yet? All right, let me demonstrate this. So here's how the human brain works. When I make a statement, you have to go inside your brain and look for a reference to determine whether or not that is true or false. Make sense? In fact, I just had you guys experience that because I made a statement, and as I was telling you what you were doing, at some level, even instantly or subconsciously, you had to go in and say, "True? Bullshit? Do I do that? I'm not sure." Right? So you had to do that. So when you make a statement, what happens is there's this thing in human learning called inductive versus deductive reasoning, right? So deductive reasoning is this. This is a marker. You use it for writing on a flip chart. I have deduced for you what this means. That's deductive learning, right? Now let me go to inductive learning, right? Hey guys, what is this?
Marker.
Anything else?
Use it right up there.
What can you use it for?
Right on.
Anything else?
Point that get high.
You can sniff it and get high. But what else can you use it for?
If you drop
Why
something,
do
you
you not
can't
to hang
reach
out
it.
with
You
John?
can-
What's that?
Because if you drop something and you can't reach it, you can use it to like scoot it
Yeah, I
back.
can use it for scooping things and getting things to come over my way. Okay,
You can like slam it down, get people's attention.
yeah, I can use it as a
Yeah.
gavel, right? Now, all of a sudden, this thing, which I told you originally deductively only had one purpose, and you also, by the way, you had to go inside and say, is that true? But when I ask you a question, it comes up with so many more uses, right? So this is the difference in sales between asking questions versus making statements. When you make a statement, it's very deductive, and now you've limited your services to do the one thing that you say it's going to do, right? But if it's inductive, where they get to induce their own meaning, they can come up with solutions and reasons for why they should be a vegan, right? That maybe, like if you just go, being a vegan is great for your health. Well, now it's just about health, but it's not about the planet, it's not about this, where if you say, what do you think all the benefits and reasons would be for becoming a vegan? Now they have to come up with those answers. So the ultimate thing is this. If I tell you this is a marker, you have to question whether or not that's true. If I ask you what it is and you say it's a marker, it's absolutely true. Does that make sense? That's the power of asking the question, which leads them into that direction. So
I can
this
add
is,
to that too.
yeah.
So it's starting a conversation. You don't start a conversation with saying like this is a marker. You start a conversation like is this a marker, and then you're automatically drawn in.
Yeah.
So that's why headlines that you use questions are always going to have a higher response rate than those that you don't.
So, for example, on mine, if I did instead of the automating something, if I said, "Are you qualified?" or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Can you afford this?
Are you living yet? And then this picture of this yacht that you
Yeah.
really want.
is it worth the dream? Is the dream worth the? I mean, there's so many different directions.
Are
you
you
could
living the dream?
Are you living the dream? Yeah, yeah.
How do is your
What do you
family
What do you know about yacht
Good
finance?
life.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, anything. Yeah. When was the last time you lived? Right.
Yeah, no, that's emotional.
Which probably appeals to that age group.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I
Gotta
look
make
at
up for some lost
yeah,
time
like
there.
I look at what I did in my 20s and my 30s. I was
Something like, what do
I
you consider living?
I lived a life, man. I fucking swam with sharks and walked on fire and drank blood from a goat.
That
And
was just a front.
climbed into a volcano. I mean, I've done so many crazy ass things, you know? And then I look at my 40s and I'm like, what have I done?
I don't know.
Got a dog,
I run for mayor.
you know? And it's like,
Yeah.
it's weird, right? So, all right, when was the last time you lived? That's a question that impacts me, for sure. All right, now let's go into this. So let's get past the cover. We open up, and it's pretty much the same thing text-wise. It's just different imagery.
Correct.
Yeah, now interesting, by the way, look at this, right? So look at this imagery. Look at this imagery.
Plug and play. I like
Doesn't look like a IT company. Does this look like an IT company?
Yes.
It does, right?
That's very dark too.
Yeah.
Like very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once
There's no
again, you're not going to use
pop
these images.
All
You're
I
just
did is
pulling.
I provided the words.
Yeah, you're
So
pulling some
I
from
mean,
Yeah, so I give you the same kind of feedback on both of those.
Okay.
All right, now let's go to John's here. All right, cover. Does it screen pick me up or
Yes.
open me?
I think it's very.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know if you can read it. But
Pump at it.
I can. It's okay.
Yeah,
On the dark side.
I like it because it says "give a damn" on it.
Yeah. I like it actually, and I told him this. I said, actually, you don't like this.
I don't like it.
I do, man. But
I
looking
fired
at
that copywriter too.
look at the
I did. I
looking
said
at the
nothing.
notion,
From
you realize that questions. How could we rephrase that to a question?
Who actually gives a fuck?
Yeah.
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 I'm just kidding.
Do you give a damn?
Yeah.
Do we give a
Or do we really give a damn?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. All of a sudden I'm like, well, that's kind of a bold thing for a company
Yeah.
to say, right?
They're on the churches.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
I don't need
No,
marketing.
I don't
They
really
need,
need
they don't need marketing.
Yeah. So the one thing that I don't like about this is, and this is where I look at, there are certain industries play well to small, certain industries play well to large. You're an industry that never plays well to small.
So it's funny you mention that. So this is actually the abbreviated version. We never finished the full version.
Okay.
So we had a full version, and it was like 10 pages. It was like high gloss. Everything was amazing, but a lot of things couldn't get done right. So that's photos being one of them. So I told him, I was like, fuck it, just create an abbreviated version of what we want to do.
Done is better than perfect.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what would you want that to look like?
It's definitely larger. So like half page in size.
Yeah,
and
this
then,
should be 8 by 8.
yeah. So and then just
Or put a CD in.
it is a CD size for the most part. Yeah.
100 minutes on AOL.
So again, looking at the copy, the first page says the complete marketing package to guarantee more sales. The next page says strategy. Does your digital marketing lack direction? Introductions are first. Interview, research, learn, architect, plan, blah, blah, blah. Next thing says brand identity. To me, this once again is all about the company. It's not about the brand, right? And this is about putting a face to the name, really creating you as the centerpiece for that. And I know that feels very uncomfortable for probably all of you to think that you should be putting yourself and featuring your ethos and your identity on a brochure. And I'm 100% certain it's absolutely the right thing to do in our culture for what we value as a business. These types of things, information-based, were great in the 80s when we were in information economy or an information age. We are in the collaboration age right now. So what I'm fundamentally asking I, a consumer, is, do I want to collaborate with you? That's the word I'm using. And if the brochure doesn't have who the you is, how can I answer that question? Does that make sense? Or do I want to collaborate with your team or something like that? So keep that in mind. So I'd like to see you put some more of you and your personality, and maybe the team's personality as well. But from a cover, I actually do like that cover. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Great job. Charles, you're the only one that didn't have it because you didn't know you were supposed to. Fair enough, right? And so we can't punish you for that one. What kind of a brochure do you think you could make about pharmacy?
It's cool because I now have to listen and hear what everyone's going to do and what works and what doesn't work. I would think that my two partners and I would definitely be the first thing I want somebody to see on the opening thing. Because my chef is obviously the visionary of our food, and that's a big part of what we do. The baker obviously brings these really vibrant images of, of things that bring a lot of people. And the experience is something that I crafted and designed. And so it'd be really cool, I think, in the opening page, it'd be, myself and my partner, images over each other.
Yep.
The opening page, pictures of the food on the opposite, pictures of the baked goods next to Michelle on the opposite page, and some smiling face of some of our team members getting ready to help you on the opening page next to me, and just maybe in something in the front have you consider what eating differently would look like or something like that.
So, and I would love to get you guys' opinions as well. Keep in mind, he's got a slightly different goal or objective here in that you guys are trying to get accounts, right? He's trying to sell food, right? So there's a slightly different, more consumer-based thing on this one. This is a brochure, but if it could also serve as a menu, now you have a reason for people to keep it, right? They have a reason to take it to their office. They have a reason to pass it around. So I'm almost giving you the opposite, is that where I'm telling you the features and benefits, focus on you. I think for you, we need to have the you in there, right? We've got to have the Gordon Ramsay. We also should focus on some of the features, which is the food. And for you, those food, you have an interesting thing is that your food, not only does it taste delicious, not only is it healthy, but it looks.
Yeah, our Instagram account is just a
It's beautiful,
smorgasbord
right?
of really good high
So-
Oh, you cover like got beef? Nope.
Yeah, so I can put you in touch with a local photographer here, and all he does is take pictures of objects. So he is the Michael McCoy of coffee cups, right? And all he does is pick environmental photography. There's an art to that. Just like if you ask Michael to take a picture of a coffee cup, he'd go, "Yeah, I can do it, and it'll look good." Not compared to this guy's stuff. So it might be worth hiring a photographer to come out and really take
And a
some
food stylist
amazing.
too.
Food stylist, yeah. I'm sure there's some here in
Yeah,
Tampa.
for sure.
But I would definitely have a reason to have your menu, a list of your favorites or something like that in there, to where people could call and order, and it could also serve as a bit of a catering services as well. Make sure you feature the food as much as the people because it really is about both. But I love the idea of you putting the power team there, you, Tim, and Michelle.
Yeah, and we're all really young. And like when we meet, like we met a gentleman who has a radio show on iHeartRadio, and he's like, when he sat down with us, he was like, "You guys own this place?"
Yeah.
He said, "You guys are so young. I can't believe you're doing this."
Yeah.
And people react that way a lot, and so I think having those images of us, like it works.
So play on that, right? And maybe the caption on that picture is, "Look what three punks can do."
Yeah.
Or something like that, where you play on that youthful energy and you get to that. So
The food's so good, we're actually in our 90s.
We're actually 90.
Oh, that's perfect. That I love.
with
We're
an
not young, we
asterisk,
just
or something, little
Yeah,
disclaimer.
exactly.
Yeah, we wish, or something like that. I don't know.
So I'd also do the image with you three in there, rather than trying to separate them, and then you could just say like, Charles, from left or something like that, so you don't break it up into three thing where it looks like a Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'll mess with
understood.
it.
All right, cool. All right, let's talk about the rest. So this was good evaluation. Now we're going to do another evaluation of you guys here in just a minute, and that is we're going to hot seat your websites. Yep. And I didn't tell you we were going to do this, and there's a reason for that. Because I want you to just, like when I just said I'm going to hot seat your website, and we're going to evaluate your website, for some of you, you're like, cool, no problem. But for others, you were like, oh, it's so out of date. Oh, I'm
That's
so
me.
embarrassed, right? Yep.
No, that's totally me.
Yeah, so why don't you feel that every single day eating away at you? Because people are looking at your websites every day, right? So you've kind of realized that there should never be an out-of-date website. And by the way, I'm guilty of it as well. Yeah. So having said that, we're gonna do some hot seats on that. We also want to do a progress report on your gifts and your product for prospects. We're going to hopefully create more gifts and product for prospects. And we're starting getting into your sales pitch as well. Remember, we've talked about this, the quick pitch, talked about the social pitch. Now we're moving into the sales pitch portion. Now, unlike quick pitch, unlike social pitch, we can't write the sales pitch for you. All we can do is provide the architecture for the sales pitch. You have to write it yourself. Why? Because you know your business better than I do. So I can give you the architecture for what makes a great sales pitch. But you guys are going to write this one on your own, and then we can come back and evaluate it. All right? And I will tell you that the sales pitch, scripted, word for word, is fundamentally one of the best things that you can do to scale your business. My sales pitch is like 19 pages.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's word for word what I say in a strategy session when I sit down with you. It's literally scripted word for word. So now as I pass the baton on to Matt, he knows what to say word for word. He's got that down, and I don't have to worry. And by the way, not only does it have a scripted word for word, but then there's parenthetical comments about why I say it the way I say it that way. So he also realizes that as long as he gets that objective, he doesn't have to say it word for word, right? But it gives him that crutch if he needs that.
How long ago did you write it? Did you do it a bunch and then you're like, I need to write this, or did you wrote it out and then you would do the strategies?
So what I did is I transcribed one of the most successful sales that I had that produced an instant sale right away that got them to cut the check and pay it in full. So I figured whatever I did there is probably pretty good.
Yeah, smart.
And then I went through and keep in mind I've also got a team from Singapore, and so I looked at all their sales pitches and I read through theirs and I stole the stuff that I liked from that. I really need to put that in there as well. And so we just kind of and we evolve it and we reevaluate it on a consistent basis.
Okay.
Cool. But right now I'm pulling a 53% close ratio, so
Good.
I figure that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good run. So
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. Could we do better? Yeah. But I'm an inept salesperson. I'm getting 53%, so I'm happy with
That's
that.
awesome.
And that's probably a hell of a lot better. So anyway, we talked about big wins, little wins. We went through the brochures. All right, so we've talked. I'm going to throw some past slides out here. Actually, we're just going to skip ahead to this stuff and just kind of get into it because we talked about your pitches and all that stuff. Have we talked about your book recently? Here, where are you guys at with your book? Because we don't want to lose sight of this thing. You're writing a book. It's about. Oh no, you are.
No, well, I'm writing
It's an
a functional
intro.
doc. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
functional doc.
How you coming along?
Now, I mean, I don't want to call it editing, but technically that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was at the 34,000 words or so,
Yeah.
but for what I have, that's just way too many.
You want to trim it down.
So
15,
I am.
20.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to keep the because I did a cultural piece that was kind of hip.
Yep.
And I kind of weave that in with obviously the legal mumbo jumbo piece.
Okay.
So that's really where I am. It's the architecture of all those words and putting them where they need to be and how I want to see them.
Can you outsource that?
Probably some of it, not overall. Simply because one, I don't want to lose grasp of it.
Mhm.
All right,
Yep.
which is a problem for me.
Yeah.
And two, I'm getting some personal information and personal quotes from Stacey and Rob,
Yeah,
showing
yeah.
some of those things we want to put in there, and I don't think that's something that if I outsource it,
Okay.
that's something to do.
So here's what I'd like to challenge you to do. I'd like to challenge you to hire an editor to go in and look at that from a content perspective. Total outsider's view. You're probably too into the forest right now to see it for the trees anyway. So and it's also you've got better things to do in your business. So this is going to be a project which gets kicked down, which gets kicked down the road.
Right.
So it'd be worth it for you to actually pay somebody. That's only $500 by the way, to go through and look at that and say, okay, you lost me here. It's over. It's redundant. Kind of get there, and then it'll just save you a lot of time. How's your book going? Last time you had 15,000 more words you wanted to write.
I'm still at that stage.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
no BS.
So what I do is I've actually moved into editing right now and just let those 15,000 words go to book 2.
That's like the execution part. It's like what's the important parts of the book?
That's all right. But by the way, what I'm suggesting is you're in a stalemate right
Yeah,
now, and it's not going to get done. So I'm just telling you how it works.
Okay.
So you got to move the ball down the field and pay
Right.
somebody to do it, and that may be the impetus for you to go. Now that I'm paying for this, it's worth for me to take a day
Talk
out.
to
and write that.
Eli based on Patty's recommendation, so I guess I just need to get a meeting with him.
Yeah, you do.
So
Yep. So will you do that?
I will do that.
All right, cool.
Absolutely.
Great.
I need to write a chapter and then get into editing.
All right, cool. You were that's the same place you were at last time as well. Once again, we'll hire an editor right now. That'll compel you to get that one last chapter done before they finish their project. Otherwise, you're going to be out of money and have to pay them to do it again. We need to create some. I think we need to create some consequences for you guys. Some.
Yeah, accountability was awesome.
Yeah. So what was I think? What did Karen say? You got to create a crisis. Yep. Louis, where you at?
Same where I left it off last time. I haven't touched this since then.
What's that?
I haven't touched this since then.
Okay. And so remind me where that is.
I still need to write some more stuff.
Okay.
And I haven't
once-
even reviewed it
Yeah,
yet.
so once again, just go to the editor. Yep, hire the editor, get into this, start putting that money down. You'd be surprised how that puts a light under your ass and fires it up. Patty, where are you at?
I just need to download it to Eli.
All right, so go ahead and do that now.
Okay.
We've met with Karen. Karen's actually really good. Anybody who wants an editor or
Yeah.
wants somebody to write it, we've met twice with her.
Yep.
She's very thorough and will ask you a whole ton of questions, and she's not just gonna let you.
Did you meet with Eli too?
I haven't,
Okay.
No, she signed up for Elite, so it was included
Oh,
in Karen
okay,
services.
okay.
So
but she's we had a choice. I meet with her too. She's really
Yeah. Okay.
she's very thorough.
Charles?
Yeah, I need a crisis too.
Okay.
Right out of the gate with that.
All right, so what can you create?
I think when we put the date in this calendar for our book release, it's going to get real. And even if I lose another key employee like I did last night, I'm just, oh well, we have this book, we have to get it done.
Absolutely right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, so I think that a good crisis for all of you, and we talked about this, but most of you probably didn't listen to the conference call. One of the best crises you can create is to actually put your money down for the book launch. Yeah. So let's talk about it because most of you weren't on that call. So let's just do a real quick review. So one of the things that we do as a service to KPI, which we do not charge for, is we provide a collaborative book launch. And some of you have attended our collaborative book launches in the past, and if you haven't, you're going to be blown away at this. So let me tell you how a book launch usually goes. You get your book done, you pick a restaurant or a library or a bookstore or a hotel, and you throw a party, and you invite all your friends, and send out 200 invites, and all 200 people say, I'll be there. So as a result, you order all this food, you all these drinks, blah, blah,
50
blah.
people come.
Oh, 5, 10. And it's just the most heart. I've been at these book launches where my heart's just bleeding for these people because they're flaky ass friends said they'd be there, and then there was a great Game of Thrones episode, so they just decided not to go. They didn't think it'd be a big deal. And it happens more often than not. And then you end up spending $1,000 or $2,000 on a party. You sell 4 books, and it's just a nightmare. And I've literally seen our customers having this fake smile on their, just trying to hold back the tears. It's not fun. Here's how we solve that problem. First off, still do those if you want to, right? But here's what we do.
Go kill yourself if you want to.
So we do a collaborative book launch. So what it is we get 10 to 14 authors, all from KPI, and we throw a party on the top of the Bank of America building at sunset, the tallest building in Tampa, sweeping views of the sunset of the bay. It's gorgeous. We usually bring in a musician to play some kick-ass music. Last year, we brought in this guitarist who doesn't play with a pick. He just and he just thumps this guitar, and it was so badass. And he walks around the room because it's all wireless. It was badass. So if we can get him again, that's what we get. One other time we had this cool chick named Amanda Riker who has like this 1940s, speakeasy voice, that just sings the sexy, cool jazz stuff. So it's cool. And we have hors d'oeuvres passing around, going around. And then what we do is every 10 minutes, we stop the music, get the attention, and then each author gets to get up and speak in front of this group. Now, we usually get somewhere between 300 to 400 people to show up for this book launch. Why? We got 14 authors sending out 200 invites. Even if all 14 of them only get 10 people, that's 140. We promote it to our mailing list. We get tons of people to show up for this thing. Literally, you practically have to put KY jelly on people's shoulders just to squeeze them into the room. It gets so tight sometimes, right? Imagery, good, I know.
Is there going to be another one? Do you guys have any other books already?
Yeah, we've got a couple of authors that are already lined up and ready to go, chopping a bit, ready to do this. We'd like to do the next launch in probably March, right? Gives you enough time, but it's tight, right? So you got to get on the stick, and that's a crisis, right? And so what we would encourage you to do. Oh, now having said all that, we don't charge a penny for this service. All we do is we do the negotiation, we book the room, we do the promotion, we do everything for you, and we just split the cost evenly amongst all the authors. We don't make any money on this. It's just a service.
$300 to $400 probably.
$225, I think. I think maybe $235 is the most we've ever charged our clients. We do great negotiation, get great rates. We usually pull in some strings from the musicians to give it to us for good rates. And and also, by the way, we hire Michael to come out as the photographer to make sure that you get some really kick-ass shots of you signing autographs with a line of people holding your book. Yeah. So from a repurposing value, it's really cool as well too. It's a great night, and it's just awesome. I mean, I'm a big fan of these things. So we will get you guys a date here in the next couple of weeks. We'll pick something out. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to say, well, I'm not going to go unless the book's done. You go, I'll pay the $225, book it, and now we start doing the promotion, and you have to tell all your friends. And when you do that, you've invited all your friends to the thing. That's what creates the crisis, and you sit down and you.
Like sick to myself.
I know, like I'm literally getting like a chest pain right now just thinking about it.
But I'll tell you what, you'll pull some all-nighters, you'll get this thing done, and you will be so proud of yourself to sit there and be able to speak and do your social pitch in front of 300 people, 400 people. It's badass, man. It's cool.
Have you ever noticed like a correlation between somebody not having their book done and then a bomb threat being called in?
No,
That's not
Oddly enough, we've never had one person not make it. Yeah, every single person's done it. Right. We have had a couple people where they didn't have the books because they were waiting for them to be shipped. They had their one sample and they were taking orders, and that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I would recommend for you guys.
Just picture me with this cover and somebody flips open the book. These are all blank pages.
All right, so
you have editor recommendations too, right?
What's that?
There's editor recommendations.
Yeah, you got all that. So there's a couple things I wanted to share with you guys because we're at a critical point in this. We're at the step 3 point, so we're over halfway done with KPI. This is going to get over real fast. And step 3 is a big monster that never gets done because you always have to create new gifts and new products for prospects, and you're constantly redeveloping them. So I want to share with you some strategies on how to do that. I'm not sure that I've shared this with you or not. I apologize if I have. Just let me know and we can skip through that. But have I talked to you guys about the concepts of a book called Deep Work? I did.
You've mentioned it.
All right, cool. Did I go through the specific strategies and what we do to make sure that you're sticking into Deep Work?
No, but you recommended it and I read it.
Good book.
Yeah, it's a great book.
All right, so the basic concept of deep work, by the way, is that deep work is stuff that moves the ball down the field. Shallow work is stuff that is functional that anybody could do, and you can hire other people to do it, but it's usually fun and it's distracting. Okay, can't tell how many times I've seen you serving food. That's shallow work, ain't deep work. Right? Deep work is you coming up with a new menu, coming up with a new recipe. Deep work is finding another location to expand to. Deep work is doing the hiring, right? Not serving the food. Okay?
Doing my bookkeeping.
Yeah. By the way, that's not even deep work.
That's what I'm saying. No,
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's shallow work, right? You can hire somebody to do it probably better than you. Average business owners spend more than 60% of the work week engaged in electronic communication and internet searching and fucking around on social media. That's not the last part, right? Yeah, so we want to fix that, right? So there's some things that he says in the book, which you can, as he's you're reading through the book, you feel it coming along and you just feel the dread, but you finally get to the ultimate chapter, which is disconnect all social media. And he addresses businesses that are heavily reliant on social media as well and how it's a false narrative. We actually think we need it, but we can outsource that stuff as well. I will tell you that what I've done, since I read this book and I read it in October last year, I've been more productive since October, November, December than I was the entire 9 months prior to that. And I just did a few things that have made it a massive change. I want to challenge you guys to do this, to really find yourself getting into the deep work, getting out of the shallow work. So I'm going to share with you some strategies. I just want you to experiment for the next 2 weeks until we come back for Profile Day. And then just let me know and report on how this is working for you. So here's what I've done. I've taken every single notification in my phone and turned them off. Not just the audio alerts, but I've also turned off every single one of those little red dots that tell you that somebody has made a call or something like that. Now I say that, by the way, and I'm going to preface this. I've actually got 2 red dots right now. One is because I just haven't set something up on the wall since I got the new phone. That's just lots of credit cards. The other 2, though, you will see red dots. One is called Grasshopper, which is my corporate phone system, and the other one is missed calls. My phone is now used for the weirdest purpose. I actually use it to make phone calls. So those are the only alarms that I have set up. But everywhere else, you're not going to find any alarms anywhere. I don't have them. I've turned all of them off. I, right now, don't even know how many messages I have because I've turned messages off. For a business owner to be constantly looking at their phone and checking their email and their messages would be the equivalent of the CEO of a corporation in 1970 walking down to the mailroom every 7 minutes. Think about that. That would be a stupid behavior for the CEO or the owner of a company to do, constantly walking in to checking the mailroom, right? But yet that is what we are doing now digitally with our phones. And the interesting thing about his book is he talks about how there are neurotransmitters in the body and receptors are in the brain that the more you use functions of the brain, the stronger those neurons get and the more they fire off and repeat. The less you use certain functions of the body, those neurons actually atrophy and go away, and then they're harder to use. And he talks scientifically about how the neurons and the neurotransmitters for deep work is different than that of shallow work. And so what happens is if you're 60% of your day is spent doing shallow work, you're actually atrophying the neurons in your brain that allow you to do the executive decision-making skills that you should be as an actual CEO, CFO, CIO, or whatever you want to call yourself. And what happens is, and here's an example, and I guarantee you've all done this. You realize you've got a project to do, deep work, and it's important. So you say, I'm gonna knock out all distractions, and I'm just gonna focus on that. So you take your phone, what do? You put it on silent. And then if you're lucky, you might turn it and put it face down. So now you're ready to do deep work. But because your brain has been conditioned to do shallow work for so much, those are the neurons that are stronger, right? So now you're trying to use The weaker neurons for deep work, and you sit down, and what do? You start typing, and maybe a minute, 2 minutes go by, and what do you find yourself doing? You just reach down and you go like that. That's an example of how your brain is going over to the deep, the shallow work neurons, and you don't even know you're doing it, and then all of a sudden you find yourself checking Facebook, and you're going in, you're doing that shallow work. So the reason why I shut off all of the notifications is because I don't have the self-discipline in my neurons to look at a number and ignore it. I knew that if I had voicemail messages here, text messages, and I saw email messages, I know I don't have the discipline, right? So I've turned them off, and oddly enough, when they're off, it tricks my brain into thinking I have them. Yeah. So I would challenge you to turn all of your notifications on your phone off, including the alarms. Now, the big objection you're going to get is, but what if people need to get hold of me? They can call me. My phone will still ring. I will still get notifications on the phone because I will assume that that is a priority. And what I found is that when people would text me, for the first week or two, I would text them back going, by the way, if you need to reach me and it's urgent, you'll need to call me because I've turned off all notifications. And they ignore that, and then they get pissed off because I didn't respond to them. I said, I already told you, I'm not checking these things. I don't have alerts. I have now retrained everybody who, for the most part, reaches out to me on a regular basis, and they just know that I'm not going to respond. I now am in control of when I respond to those text messages, right? And here's what I found. The first 2 weeks were hard to do that. First 10 days. Started getting easier around the 11th day. Now I can even open it up, and I can click on it, and I can see that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people who have messaged me, and I still don't have to help them. So I'm building up the strength for deep work neurons. I'm letting the shallow work neurons atrophy away. Right? Now the question becomes in your business, because you have a social media intensive business, you have to do that, right? You either outsource that social media to somebody else to where they're checking your text messages for idiots like me that text you and go, hey, are you in there? Can you book me a garden burger? Right? If that's the issue. Or you redevelop that thing where you go, well, let's just have a company phone that does alert because it is important. And we know that if it's ringing, we check it because it's an order. You can do something like that. But you'd be surprised.
That is the best thing I ever did.
Yeah?
Was when we first opened, it was just a small little operation. I was taking all these calls here, and everything was going to my phone. And I was like, I don't care how much it costs. It's going to be a phone in that damn restaurant.
So do you do that now? You have
No, yeah, now everything goes to pharmacy.
Perfect.
Anyway,
except for idiots like me that text
you
you.
still have my phone number. Because, yeah.
By the way, you need to retrain your customers, right? So all you have to do is say, here's the new phone number. You don't even have to say it's the restaurant. You go, hey, this is my new phone number that I'm checking regularly. Text me the menus here, whatever, right? Or even create that as a contact, and then you just send them the contact card, right? Yeah. So you can do it that way. You've done that. You've already solved it. But you do have to retrain people, but they relearn pretty quickly that if it's an emergency, they make a phone call. Anna knows now. She wants to get a hold of me. She calls me. Jody knows. Oh, by the way, you maybe have 5 people that really need to get a hold of you in an emergency situation, and they adapt very quickly because they forget, they get frustrated, you don't respond, and then they have a critical moment where they go, I'll never do that again, I'm going to call. So it does work. You'll be surprised how much more productive you'll be when you don't have any alerts, any alarms. And here's the thing, it's not that it takes a long time to answer a message. It's that it takes a long time to recover from the message. Franklin Covey, which is a day planning system, they have some numbers, and I'm going to throw these things out. Please don't quote me. These things are generic, and they're also 20 years old before text message even came out. But they predicted, or they did this study, and they discovered that the average worker receives somewhere, and this was before social media, mobile phones, and everything else, right? The average worker at an office receives something like 6 interruptions per hour that last between 30 seconds to 2 minutes. And they said that's not the problem. The problem is that each one of those interruptions take on average of 25 minutes to recover from, because they pull you away. Now, if you do the math, 6 an hour times 25 minutes is more than an hour. So this is why people literally couldn't get anything done. And it's not because they had a lot of interruptions, because it took them 25 minutes to recover from the interruption. You guys have experienced this before. You think, oh, I'll just send a message to somebody on Facebook, and you get on, and then you got distracted by all of those little alerts, right? By the way, I have uninstalled Facebook Messenger. I've uninstalled Facebook. If I want to use Facebook on my phone, I have to go to the web browser and I have to log in. Yep, and I'll tell you what, way less tempting. I look at that, and by the way, you can't turn it off inside the internet browser, but I'll see that I have messages. I cannot check messages from my phone on Facebook. I have to purposely go to the laptop or to my iPad. By the way, I don't have the apps here. I have to log into the app, and then I can answer them there. It's way more effective. So I would encourage you to turn off all your apps, your notifications, the red alerts as well. Try it for 1 week. See if you can retrain some people and let them know that you'll check the messages when you damn well please. And all of a sudden, you're going to discover it's easier to focus on the deep work aspects. The reason you don't have your book done right now is for one reason only. Your brain is trained for shallow work more than deep work. That's it. Because you're distracting yourselves with things that you think are important that aren't. Right? So I really want to encourage you. Remember when you signed up for this, we said that there were some criteria. Number one is that you want to be willing, you're willing to be pushed and stretched. We even set up front. Some of these things are designed to make you feel uncomfortable. This is one of those things. And if you do, you're going to be far better off. And we're about having you guys do the deep work, not the shallow work. Because the shallow work pays the bills. The deep work increases the profit. Way more valuable. Fair enough? Cool. Create a crisis. Get rid of your shallow work chip and demonstrate that. Now, let's go into our gifts. I want to do a kind of a round robin. I want you guys to give me, where are you at with the gifts and the product for prospects that you have created so far in the course? Remember, you've written like your 10 stupid mistakes, silly, those kind of things. Where are those things at? What have you guys done with those? Have you put them online? Have you done anything yet? Charles.
I haven't done anything with it.
So you've created some? Yeah, you haven't done? Okay. All right. Claire?
We're talking to somebody who created, that's what I wanted to talk to you about, but I forgot it.
You mean to make it look pretty, but you've got the content done.
No, well, we're talking to somebody to help us put it together, but I wanted to talk to you about whether to do something like that or not.
Okay.
But,
Well, let's make that a topic on the next time you're down in Miami.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's. Could you make a note of that since I?
yeah,
not
no, and
just
it's
for-
there that we wanted to go over.
Perfect.
Anyway.
Patty?
I have content and things like that are done, but I haven't done with
Haven't made
it
it
what I
pretty.
have.
Got it.
Yeah.
No problem. We're going to give you guys a strategy for today for how to do it. Lewis?
I haven't, from where we left off, I haven't picked
Okay.
up.
By the way, this is not a bad place. This is always where people are at right now. Grant? Same. You've got some content you've created, but you've not made it look pretty and presentable to the facility.
Done, knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, right.
We got some ebooks. I met with my team. We're gonna sunset some of those, and we're in the process of creating new ones.
Okay.
We're in our website redesign. So our website should launch probably next month and a half.
All right, cool. So we're going to look at your old one today, and that's okay because I'll probably give some really cool ideas
Sure,
that
that'd be
you'll.
I can explain actually our new wireframe too. I can walk people through it.
Do you have it, or you could put it up on the screen?
No.
Did somebody email it to the wireframe?
Not that I let them do that right now.
No. That's fine.
I've been kind of asked to stand down on this piece because it's something that the organization as a whole is doing in partnership with this gentleman right here.
Yep.
So,
Yep. That's
And
true.
Alex.
yeah, so
Yeah.
again, deep work, that's not something he wants to do.
Great. Okay. Cool. All right, guys. So having said that, I don't think I've shared with you guys a strategy yet. I want to share with you a strategy of how you can create a ton of products with the stuff you've already created with relatively little work on your behalf. And this whole philosophy is done is better than perfect, right? The smart thing to do is to hire somebody like John to get it done, because when you're paying this man $10,000 a month or whatever it is you guys are paying him, shit gets done. All right, you force the move.
No, it's not a lot of shit.
Is this slacking?
Really?
Too busy.
You gotta talk to Pasquale, you gotta talk to Aaron.
So here's
Don't make me talk.
how I recommend you, because here's the thing. A lot of times people think, well, I've created those 7 stupid mistakes. What's that going to do? I mean, it's just like one report. We don't want to create one product from that. We want to create like 6 or 7 or 8 products from that one report. And here's how this system works. So the first thing that I recommend you do when you come up with your 7 mistakes, 10 stupid mistakes, or whatever those things are, you start with one. I want you to make a video of that problem. Done is better than perfect. If you need to set up your iPhone or Facebook Live it and just read it off your list, do it. All right? You can always go back and recreate it better and more professional later. The point is, done is better than perfect. Okay? Once you've taken the video, you can create all of the other products without ever touching it from that on, for the cost of about $30, $40. So here's what you do. Once you've taken the video, and by the way, some of these steps you guys are savvy enough to do on your own. I would question whether it's deep work or shallow work, but you could probably outsource it to your staff, and you don't even have to pay $5 to do it. But go on to Fiverr.com. If you're not familiar with the website, it's Fiverr.com. Fiverr.com is not a website you want to look at when you're ready to go to bed, because there's so much stupid shit on it. It's so funny to look at all this stuff. But it's a website of people that will do just about anything for $5. And it can be very addictive to just scroll through and look at all the crazy stuff. As a general rule, I'm not a fan of Fiverr. Yeah, that's it. Oh wait, what's it say?
Like pay somebody like
Well,
slap a friend for
yeah.
$5 filming live.
Yeah, I mean, you can get people to break
Yeah,
up.
Are you
I'm
serious?
dead serious. Yeah.
People will break up with your girlfriend or boyfriend for $5
Oh
for
my
you.
God, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I'm getting divorced when I go home.
People will do a fake news broadcast for $5. It's
No
pretty crazy.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. And by the way, some of the things that you can get for $5 are actually pretty damn impressive. Most of it's bullshit. That
Yeah.
is pretty crappy. And
And
I'm not a big
they'll
fan.
try to get you
Oh, look at
into
your
a
face.
funnel.
And by the way, yeah, some of it you think it's $5, and then all the upsells it's $40.
Right, yeah.
But generally speaking, Fiverr works really good for a couple of things. Basic systems. So here's what you do. You take your video, you can find somebody for $5. They will separate the video into just an audio track. And now you have two products. You have a video, and you have an audio. And for another $5, you can pay somebody to create that into a podcast. And they'll set everything up for you, and now you have a podcast. Do you care if people are listening to your podcast? It's great if they do, but it helps you from an SEO perspective. It's getting a web, it's getting a network out there, right? Then what you can do is you can pay another $5 for somebody to transcribe it into text if you haven't already read the video from a text previously, which you have. Skip the $5 and you've already got the transcript. Then you can take and pay another $5, and somebody can take the transcript and turn it into a SlideShare. If you're not familiar with SlideShare, you can go to slideshare.net, and it is essentially PowerPoint, YouTube for PowerPoint slides. If you have to do a PowerPoint presentation on something in life, there's already a PowerPoint slide created for it on slideshare.net. Like if you want to know how Abe Lincoln would lead America if he were alive today, you'll probably find a slide on it. Okay? If you want to know what are the top 5 restaurants in the country that serve vegan food, there's probably a SlideShare on it. It's very robust. It's owned by LinkedIn. So every time you post something on a slideshare.net, it's automatically updated to your LinkedIn account as well, provided you sync them. But it is a very, in fact, it's so good for SEO, it's almost better than YouTube, but it's not, but it's right up there, all right? The reason for that is because the slide's all text heavy, it's text driven. When you upload a slide, the robots in slideshare.net take all the text, the OCR, whatever that thing is, and now they've got all your text, and they can put that into search engine algorithms.
And these are part of our gifts we're creating here. That's the idea.
Or product or prospect. Yeah, I'm thinking in my brain a gift right now. Okay. For another $5, you can. I'm trying to think of all the things audio, video, transcription, for another $5, you can have an infographic created that talks about the 10 silly mistakes or whatever it is. So for a total of $25, you have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different products for the same thing. That's utilizing your time and your services even better. By the way, there's probably a whole host of other things that I haven't put here, that I haven't thought of, that'll be another $5. Okay? That you could also pay people to do. You could pay people to go back and take your transcription and create another video, which is much more professional than you. Right? You can literally create it on your iPhone, get it all done, and then hire a on-camera. And by the way, there are models, spokespeople who will, for $5, will get on camera, professionally edited, beautifully created, and they'll do your top 10 silly mistakes with your call to action, whatever you want. So it's very efficient, and this is what Fiverr's good for, right? Just stupid little crap like this. For branded infographics and branded slideshares for the user slides, usually you'll pay an extra $5 for them. That's an upsell. So otherwise, you just get a generic infographic. But if you pay them an extra $5, they'll turn that graphic into the same color scheme, and they'll put your logo on it and stuff like that. So somewhere between $25 to $50 per product, you get these things out. And by the way, if you're too busy to take this product and upload it onto all your social medias, you pay another person $5 to take the file and upload it onto all of the social medias. But that gets a little bit tricky because now you're going to have to give them user access to your social medias, and if it's somebody, you know, in China, good luck getting any of that money out of your bank account at the time, right? So, but it is a good system. It does work. You find these people that are really reliable. So a couple of other things you need to know. Oh, by the way, you upload the video to YouTube or to Vimeo. One of the things that a lot of people don't understand about how YouTube works is, you ever wonder how you upload a video and then it has recommended videos on the right-hand side? Even those recommended videos have nothing to do with the video that you uploaded. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It's because they have what YouTube does is they have a robot that listens to every one of the audio portions of your video, and it transcribes all of the audio. And it creates a transcription of your YouTube video, which is not visible, but it is findable. And then they use the text from that YouTube video as the relevant information to find the similarity. And here's the problem. The YouTube robot is stupid, and it does not do a very good job. It's not a human transcribing. It's basically a Siri-style app. And if you look at how accurate Siri is when you're talking slow and clear, imagine how crappy it is when you're just talking freely on video, right? So I'll give you a great example. When you watch a Topher Morrison video, if I haven't done the strategy I'm going to share with you, you will oftentimes see a lot of Muslim and Mormon related videos to my video. Why? Because every time YouTube listens to me say, "Hi, my name's Topher Morrison," for whatever reason, it transcribes it to, "Hi, my name's Muslim Mormon."
Wow.
I'm either a Muslim or a Mormon, right? Yep. So it finds things that are Muslim or Mormon related, right? Which I got no problem against Muslims or Mormons. But I don't want their videos. I want my videos, right? There's a couple of other things that you can do to increase that. Almost all of my videos on YouTube say in the title my name. So the title might be How to Develop a Pitch by Topher Morrison. How to Develop a Product Line by Topher Morrison. How to Pitch to Investors by Topher Morrison. So by doing that, that's the easiest thing because YouTube's going to look at that title as the #1 reason for relevancy. So now when you watch a lot of my videos, it's pretty much all Topher Morrison off to the left-hand side. So there's another trick for you to put your name in the title. Helps massively for getting search engine ranking up higher because Google owns YouTube. So
Is it our name or our company name?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. Both. I put
Okay.
my name because I'm about branding me more than the company name. But if you feel you want to put both, put both.
Okay.
There's some other things. Oh, now, so what do you do with the YouTube transcription that's fucked up? I'm not going to make this an instructional tool, but you can go in and find out how to do it. But inside YouTube, you can go into the settings, you can pull up the transcription, and you can remove it and replace it with the correct transcription that you've hired somebody for Fiverr. So usually what I'll do is after I upload my YouTube video, I hire my people on Fiverr to transcribe it. Then I take that text file, I delete the YouTube transcription, and I upload it. Then I get much higher accuracy because it's the right words as opposed to Muslim, Mormon, and all the other things that come out of my crazy mouth when I'm speaking too fast. But, so that's just a little tip on Now, the question then becomes, how do you use these products, right? You pay them to get them built and the design of where do they go. So let's talk about that strategy because it's absolutely imperative for this next piece, which is hot seating all of your websites. I'm going to give some great feedback on the website to show you how to make these sites sticky where people want to use them. And I'll throw out some samples and some guidelines as well. And John, feel free to jump in and add as much stuff as you want to. You know me, I don't care. You guys are experts in stuff, and I'm just kind of talking out my ass. Jump in, I don't care. All right, so what makes you rank higher in Google? John can jump into this much better than I can. But let me tell you a couple of things that, as I've learned over the years, Google appreciates. Now, they do frequently or randomly change their algorithms, and so this may be out-of-date info, and if it's out, you can jump in, and I'm not going to get offended, all right? So here's what Google likes. Google likes relevancy. So they like knowing that all of your videos and all of your blogs are about what you're an expert in. So I screw up my SEO because my Topher Morrison blog has 49 things I've never done before I turned 49. And in those things, I've got things like bike share, and the Tampa River Walk, and ballooning, and flying and taking lessons, and all of that fucks up my relevancy. It's a stupid choice I've made, but I do it. Whereas if all of my blog was strictly about pitching, or public speaking, or professional speaking, or presentation skills, Google would like me a little bit more because it's all relevant. Accurate?
It is for the most part, but there's certain things that are like a page in itself can just be deemed relevant based on a search in comparison to all the other pages.
Yeah.
Your website as a domain, will be put into a categorical classification based on relevancy. That's what you're talking about.
Gotcha. Yeah. Another thing they like, from what I've understood, in fact, they love this one, is consistency. So what Google really likes is that if you're going to, say, for example, put a blog out, it's released every Monday at 9 a.m. And it's always released every Monday at 9 a.m. Versus sometimes on Tuesday, sometimes on Wednesday, sometimes on Monday. Sometimes you go 4 weeks without posting anything, and then you upload 4 blogs in a row. That kind of inconsistency is not favored upon as much as real consistent blogs. Is that still accurate?
For the most part, I think the biggest change there is it's the way that people behave with that post. So if somebody goes and this sucks, and they bounce off, or it's not getting as many click-throughs based on the index, it's going to have a substantially higher penalty.
Okay, and this is the other thing, which is they love interaction.
Yeah.
Yep. So a blog that gets comments and likes is going to be ranked higher than a blog that just gets a click, but then they click off.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So what makes a blog or any article or anything you post on your website something that engages or gets the shares and the likes? Opinions will do that more than facts. The more opinionated, the more it usually creates that stuff. So this is why blogs were designed to be very introspective and personal experiences, not information technology that just, here's the facts about how to do things, right? They like opinions. Let's see, what are some other things they like, Google likes? There was 5 that I used to know. I'm trying to go through it. Can you think of other names?
Yeah. There's about 330 of them.
Sure.
You have your relevancy. Behavior is a big one. You also want the right structure, so that's going to be your heading tags. So, in clear headlines. You want to write for people. You don't want to write for computers, but there's kind of this little gray area there. So, and what I mean by a heading structure, you're going to have a heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, and you follow that structure. So it's kind of like in your book, you're going to have different types of headings. It's the same thing that you're going to have, in your content. Your metadata should be accurate. So
What's metadata?
Metadata is pretty much what the computer sees for the most part. So if you're going to have an image, there's going to be alt text tied to it. So let's say that you have an image of the guy in your brochure. You would say, guy standing on table, leaning over. It's for, if somebody was, essentially, if you were describing that image to somebody that was blind. And I'm kind of getting in the weeds there on you, but there's a lot of technical stuff like that.
That's where hiring people in helps. Oh, here's the other one I wanted to talk about. What's that? Here's the other one. And you'll probably have the term for this, but what Google likes is they like connectivity. In other words, they want to know.
Backlinks.
Backlinks. There we go. So they want to know that your website can lead people to other websites, essentially. So this is the magic behind how this whole thing works when you create 8 different products. in its ultimate goal, where do you want people to end up when they're online?
Your website.
Your website. That's really where they can come to you through Facebook or YouTube or SlideShare, but ultimately you really want to click into your website, right? So here's how we do this. First off, we want to make sure that it ranks really well and Google likes you. So we're gonna make sure that we connect your website to every possible other thing that's out there that you use. This is also another important thing. By the way, Google does not like you having things that you don't use. So if you have a Twitter account that you never use, you might as well just delete it. If you have a blog that you haven't posted on in 5 years, might as well just delete it, right? So only have online what's actually being utilized and active. So here's what this is where most business owners get an overwhelm. They're like, there's so many damn social media things out there. How many do we have to be a part of? And we're going to talk about this more during Profile Day. Alex will be here to talk about that whole aspect of things. But what and I think, John, you probably agree with this as well, you pick the ones that you think you would use.
Yeah, where's your audience?
Yeah, where's your audience? You know, and like for you, Instagram and Snapchat's probably amazing because it's image-based and people want to look at food. And I don't understand why people love to take pictures of their food, but they do it, right?
Insane.
Yeah. For me, I have no desire to be on Instagram or Snapchat. I think that they're just insanely stupid. I do have. Oh, look at that! My mayoral competitor is calling me.
You should answer that.
Oh yeah,
We wanted to hear
we
that
could totally.
conversation.
Should I
Yeah,
answer?
yeah, yeah.
Yep. Should I answer? I've already sent him an email and a text message and posted it on Facebook because he's the first person to raise.
Tell him that you're coming for him.
Huh?
Tell him.
No, I love Ed. I'm actually a fan of him. He's a good guy. Honestly, I'll tell you this: if Ed or I win, the city of Tampa's in a good place.
Oh, you're talking about Ed?
If I win, it's a better place.
I'm not familiar with Ed.
Ed Tranchik, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
He's a
not
good guy.
familiar.
Huh?
It's Richard.
He's the guy who was the guy behind the Cross Bay Ferry.
Okay.
He also was created the Tampa Olympic Committee to try to get the Olympics. He also was the guy who designed the high-speed rail between Tampa and Orlando. Former city councilman. He's a good guy.
Okay.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. So I'm not going to tell you what social media you need to be a part of. But here's how the strategy works. What you want to do is, let's say you have that video, right? You're going to take that video and upload it to some video source. I'll just use YouTube as an example. And what you're going to do is you're going to want to, in the description somewhere, or in the metadata, or wherever it goes, I don't know. I just put it in the description.
Yeah, there's a whole optimization of each platform itself. So.
You're going to have a link to your website. But you're also going to go to your website, and you're going to embed that video or have a link to the video from your website up to YouTube. So in other words, you want them to go in both directions. So if somebody's on YouTube, they can find your website, but if they're on your website, they can find that YouTube video. Then you're going to take that and you're going to create some kind of SlideShare document, right, for $5. And so you're going to post that SlideShare. And in the description, you're going to have people, or like in your bio, like all of these things, you have your channel, and your channel can have your location. So, so you link the SlideShare to your website, and you also post on your website the SlideShare video. So you send a direction. Now, in your bio in SlideShare, you can also have a link to your YouTube channel. And on your bio in YouTube, you can also have a link to your SlideShare channel. Of course, this is also linked up to LinkedIn. And so that same SlideShare is linked over to LinkedIn, and everything's on LinkedIn. You get over to SlideShare, and everything's on LinkedIn, goes up to your website, and everything on your website goes over to LinkedIn. And by the way, on your YouTube post, not only can you have your SlideShare address in your profile, but you can also have your LinkedIn profile. You can also do this back. Now, if you look at this and you go to Facebook, and you start doing these connections, and they all cross-reference, and they go back to the website, and they come over here, and they all link back. What is this starting to look like, by the way? If you look at these lines, a web. This is where the term World Wide Web comes from. Your job is to build as much of a web as possible. Okay? If you're on ABC Action News, you have that post linked to your website, linked to this, you put it up on your social media, you share it all over. You want to spread it all over as much as you possibly can, strategically, I would say.
Yeah, I have a
Probably
question
better
because
answer.
I've been on the news now twice.
Yep.
For 3 weeks. Once they came in Gail and Lifespan came and made waffles.
Yes.
Obviously that's relevant.
Mhm.
But then I got interviewed last week about the whole parking thing that they're doing now. Is all stuff like that? And really, when I say all publicity is good publicity, but like, is that really true? Do I even want to like? Should I aggregate these like videos that we appear in somewhere? Or?
First off, anybody says that all publicity is good publicity. That's a phrase back before social media.
Understood.
Okay, Harvey Weinstein
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah.
is getting a lot of publicity, and
That's
it
Kevin
ain't
Spacey.
good.
How that
Right?
works.
Keep
Yeah.
in mind, this is a guy who told me to put a butt crack on my marketing material. All right, so he really does have to level
Take
us out.
everything with a grain of salt, right? So not all media is good media nowadays, and for both of those are fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you
In a press page, though.
in a press page?
But you create a press page, or like your media kit, and have share it on your social media. But it's not like you have to create, a separate blog post specifically for that unless it's like relevant enough.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Aggregate it somewhere so the press
Yeah,
page
then
sounds
you
like
can click it there. And then the other thing too, though, is when it comes to all these sites, you want more backlinks from other sites to you, and whenever you create a reciprocation, that is actually a negative signal in
Really?
Google's algorithm. Yeah, because then it looks like we're trading links, right?
I
Yeah,
see.
you link to my site, I'll link to yours.
Got
That's
it.
something to keep in consideration. Where you can get away with that, though, is on social media platforms.
So here's an example. So I've got on my
That's
website,
done.
I've got in the media, and if you click in the media, what it does is it takes you to my page where you can see me on TV.
God.
Yeah, and that's how you want to use this. Now, ideally, this is set up, it's okay, but for you, like that video of you at Gail Gallardo making waffles should be on your homepage. Because this is the ultimate credibility endorsement here. It's better than commercials because by being on these channels and these shows, there is a implied endorsement from the news center that this is an expert in that industry. So it gives you massive amounts of credibility, and that's good. Now, you getting on TV talking about parking, is that good for your website? Does it demonstrate your personality? Show that you're a citizen that cares about things? Yeah, put it up there. Yeah. Not as good as the Gale. I mean, everything has its. I'm pretty clear here. I've got nationally syndicated talk show, local talk show, right? And it keeps going down, and then we get to radio, and then we get to podcast, right? And then we get to media. So it's there's a priority. But absolutely, every video that Rob's on needs to get on the website. I'm assuming you've given it to him, and he'll eventually, once he
I'm trying
stops
to get it from
from the network.
yeah.
So do you use a clipping service? I can get you one if you need it.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
And you pay $25 and they'll get you the footage. Like, so if you don't even have the ones that he's done,
Right, yeah.
just give them the air date and the topic, and they'll go find it in the archives. They'll clip it and send it to you for like $25.
Okay.
So with that being said, that was going to be my question. Obviously, my situation is a little different from a business owner perspective.
Yep.
Right? I'm an executive. So with that being said, Rob is already, or you're already doing the blog piece, right? You're working on the video piece. I have not delved into. Is there a negative to almost me blogging if Rob's already
No.
blogging, or so on and so forth? No.
It's different expert opinions, different buyer personas, or it could even be the same buyer persona.
Absolutely. In fact, if you guys get good enough to where you've got like your own niche and he's got his own niche, you can, I don't know, can you have like, yeah, you could. You could have one page which is your blog, another page which is his blog.
Absolutely, multiple authors, they can all go into the same.
I have a hard time wrapping my head around the whole blog thing anyway, because I don't understand why anyone would want to
They
hear
have the New York
about
Times,
anything.
right?
So
In the New York Times, you're going to be the New York Times of, let's say, security, and like managed services. So you're going to have tons of different authors in there. That's essentially to the relevant section. I want to talk all about that space.
He just said something that was very, very relevant. He said, I just don't get this whole why people would even want to read my blog about that. Here's what I would say to that. You can probably clarify this more, John. It's not even so much that people will read it, although we want them to.
Right.
It's that Google is observing it. It's that it's there and there's that information is present. And even if there's not a lot of interaction, right? Even if there's not a lot of regularity, but in your title it says cybersecurity, or in the title it says keeping your kids' toys safe from hackers.
Right.
And it's that specific of a
Right.
language, right? And if somebody Googles keeping your kids safe from hackers, even if there's not a lot of interactivity there, Google's still going to see those phrases and go, this is probably highly relevant. Right?
And it's both. So we wrote a blog post for an attorney who was like totally anti-blogging. like, all right, let's just do it. We'll do it for a few months and see what happens. And then he didn't have a whole ton of traffic, but he got one call, and that call led to a case that got $40 million.
Yeah, that's the,
Yeah,
You
I
never
mean,
know,
no,
right?
like I said, I understand the concept, but especially on the LinkedIn side, right? Everybody and their cousin's an expert,
sure.
right? And I am an opinionated individual, but I have to temper that with the professional aspect of it. And I will, based on that comment, right? You see what the title is, you click on it, you open it up, and I'll be like, how did this person even think that they should take the 10 minutes of token number?
You can comment on that in a nice way, right? And then and that's going to leave a link back to your site. It's going to start building up your personal authority.
Yep.
And then if you're so inclined, you write your own blog post. You don't really have to point
So what are you
fingers.
saying? I should start hawking people's blogs first
Well,
and commenting
okay,
and
so
then delve into that?
I'll tell you a great strategy that I got from Chris Jenkins. You know Chris from Symphony?
I'm listening.
Chris Jenkins has an amazing ability to get massive interactions on every single post that he makes because he's incredibly opinionated, but he can back it up with really strong intellectual dialogue, so nobody can really fight with him. So Chris has this technique called the idiot technique. So what he does is he'll find a blog. This is where you talk about these backlinks, right? So he'll find a blog that somebody wrote about some topic that he's passionate about, and he hates that guy's opinion. He thinks they're stupid. He then writes his own blog about what an idiot that guy's blog was. And so basically what he does is he clips a paragraph from that guy's blog, and then he goes, this guy is such an idiot. Here's why he's an idiot. Here's what he wrote. And he has it, and there's a link to that guy's website, and he goes, here's why this is so stupid, and then he writes his opinionated thing. So you can use the idiot technique or genius technique, right? You can also find a blog, it's really brilliant, and then instead of just posting, here's a great blog, you write your blog about their blog, and you link it to theirs, and oftentimes it creates a lot of interaction between the person who wrote the first blog, gets on your blog and starts writing, and he gets all this conversation going. But it's a really cool way to have all those cross backlinks. Is that what the term is?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you always want more coming back into you. I mean, if you want to pick fights online, go for it.
No.
That's it.
I
Oh,
know.
by the way, that's what I said. Genius thing is you don't pick a fight, but you actually pick an ally.
Right,
You go,
right,
This
yeah.
guy's incredible. This guy's great. Then they start noticing you, and they're like, I'm going to start referring to this guy.
I just don't want to step on the toes of a process. Again, I'm an obstacle.
Yeah.
Process.
No, you should sit down because we went over it with Aaron and Rob and everything. So I mean, we could sit down with you and just get you involved in it. Yeah, especially because we're going to be right more on the security. You can write more on the management.
These pictures are from our book launches, by the way. Yep. So those are from all the collaborative book launches. All right. So I'll hot seat mine because by the way, mine's as out of date as anybody else's is, right? When you look at a website, and once again, John, jump in anytime you know. Here's my opinion, and it's just one person's opinion, but it's from a very strong branding perspective. A website is when you design a site, a website should be designed much like you design a nice home. Because really what you're saying is when somebody visits your site, you're saying, come on in, kick off your shoes, and stay a while. That's really the outcome of a website. You want it to be sticky. You want people to stay on there. So when you go to a website, the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that it welcomes them and makes them feel like this is a place to hang out and stay.
And one other thing.
Yeah.
On the hero image or in the main thing above the fold, you always want to have your value proposition.
Okay.
So when people land on your page, like yours lands on your image, you might be that value proposition for the most part. They want to know, pretty much what you do, and then if you can, who you do it for.
Yes.
So when you don't have, because people bounce, they're like, I don't know, and then they're off to the next one.
Yeah.
So he
So
also wants to let everyone know he's got that watch on. Because that watch in that first picture is a blaring.
if you look on my slogan, it says what I do and who I do it for. I think that's what you're referring to. Now, the problem is it's pretty small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A good example is like Stripe. If you go to Stripe, they do a pretty good job, or like Evernote. They do kind of a creative thing with their
Stripe.com.
It's Stripe payments. I don't know what the URL is. Just do the search. We'll find it. Yeah. Yeah. After all the ads.
It's the new standard in online payments.
So it's pretty clear.
Oh,
It's clear exactly what to do, and then under that, it's like who it's for. So I mean, that's a good example.
I think we actually have that on. No. grow your company 7 times faster.
Yeah, you know,
Boost profits, attract top line, stay back. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. So, so anyway, but you want them to feel like this is the place, right? Now, a good designed home, you don't want to walk into the home and the first thing you walk into is the toilet. You want to walk into a foyer or a living room or something that makes you feel like you want to stay. So how do you do that with a website? One of the ways you can do that is with video, right? So you can create a welcome thing, which welcomes them into it. Which are about us. There's kind of a natural flow. You get your home, about us, lets them know exactly what it is that you do. This is the people, so you want to have the personalities there. On this one here, and this one I've designed specifically thinking of it from a KPI perspective, by the way, is what's the first thing that you typically do when somebody comes into your house?
Read them.
You greet them and offer them
Scotch.
a gift. Scotch, coffee, water.
Champagne.
Right? Right? Isn't that what you do? You go, hey, can I get you a cup of coffee? Can I get you water? Right? Come on in, have a seat, sit on my couch, right? And so you offer them something that makes them feel welcome. So I refer to those as gifts. So if you look at my website, you've got the home there, and then what's the next glaring obvious thing that's there? Gifts. Yeah, I'm gonna look at what the gifts are, right? Now, when you offer, then you get a really ugly looking screenshot, which I probably should get.
That's
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You can throw a thumbnail.
We're gonna talk in a second.
Well, it changes every time I upload a video on
Yeah,
YouTube.
that's
It's
true,
the
yeah,
most.
yeah.
So this is the most recent one that's there, right?
That's
It's
great.
funny. This is my De Niro look.
So
Yeah.
awesome.
Anyway, you come in. It says free speaker training webinar series, and then there's like a ton of videos. By the way, there's about 8 hours worth of videos that you can watch here, and all of them are free. You can click on them, and you never you never have to give somebody your like a username or a password. They just click on it, and they can watch it. So this is where we're starting to get into the ascending transaction model. The very first thing you do for a suspect is you give them a gift, right? And that's what you want to do.
I was gonna say, please click
Yeah.
on that. I don't know how I
Make
managed
sure
not to
you're
see that.
asking is for the amount you need, not the amount you think the investor will give you. All too often, business owners think that if they ask for too much money from an investor up front, they're going to ruin their chances for getting anything at all. Simply isn't true. If an investor thinks your request is too high, they'll counter. When you ask for an amount that you know won't give you the resources that you need to accomplish the end game, you end up looking like Dr. Evil with Austin Powers because you don't have a grasp on reality. Savvy investors know that it takes a lot to take a disruptive technology to market. Just imagine, hi, I've created a new application for phones that will transform the way people manage all of their finances from day to day. And all I need to launch this is $1 million.
Who added that?
Really? Any savvy investor knows that
Oh, you did a
develop
face over
disruptive
there.
technology, take it to market, and dominate a sector, it's probably going to take more than just $1 million. Don't be Dr. Evil. You and me, we got to make this work together. I can't work with this. He's not cooperating. Do we have a stunt cat? Do we have a double? Do I have a replacement? I need a replacement. That's better. Nobody will
These
even
kids
know.
just freak me
It
out.
looks like that. Hi. How you doing? Well, do you realize that hello? You're supposed to be in the lab. Hi. We work together as a team.
I'm not sure which is more disturbing, your hair or their cat.
You have a
The
new
cat
spot.
freaks me out.
Evil cats sit in evil laps. Alright, okay, evil cats go on evil laps. Can you go on my lap? Don't by go, I mean sit, not eat. And don't let anybody ever tell you the bald isn't beautiful. Okay? Yeah, bald is
What does
very
this have to do with my business?
I'm not really sure
It's
what I'm
funny
gonna
and it
sleep
makes you
tonight.
want to stay to see what's going to come next.
It's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's a gift, right?
versus that in world domination is all.
So it's corny.
You ever
It's
have a bad hair day?
right?
Where did you get these cats?
So this is the sad part, right? So my neighbor has 2 hairless cats. So everything that in this video was based upon I was looking for a reason to find a way to get these stupid cats into my video. Because I was thinking, I want to dress up like Dr. Evil.
The goal is to go to the most cooperative.
I don't know how much of a gift this whole thing is. I'm not going to sleep better.
So,
I know.
so for my stupid desire to make people laugh, I spent $500 for a makeup artist to come in and bald me. And
They did a great job.
Yeah, he did an amazing. He's a special effects guy from Orlando.
Wow.
So anyway, but the whole thing there is that you just want to entertain them.
Yeah.
Right? You just want them, because now people know I have a sense of humor. It's disturbing and it's warped, right? But it's there. And by the way, that's not the only weird, crazy one that I've got. Yeah. No, the weirdest one. The weirdest one's probably actually not on this page. It's probably just on my YouTube page. But this one here is not much better.
Oh, like Morgan Spurlock.
Don't have any unnecessary barriers between you and your investor. You want to make sure that they feel you're approachable, honest and open. This means eliminating things like projectors, desks, lecterns, and anything else that keeps you from being open and approachable. You want your nonverbal messages to convey that you're open. First, you have something to hide. I get it. You are open. You don't have anything to hide. But if it appears like you do, that's a problem. And some of the biggest barriers can be the smallest. If you wear dark glasses, have facial hair, those two can become barriers, making you appear to be
No, we can't
closed
see the
off.
facial hair.
Dark glasses hide your eyes.
It's
Facial
locked up.
hair hides your smile.
Oh.
Open to eliminating them when making your pitch.
Okay.
If you wear dark-rimmed glasses, try wearing ones without frames to minimize the block. And it doesn't matter if it's a full-blown beard, a goatee, or whatever the heck this thing is, or a mustache. If you want to clean up on your investment, clean up your face. Okay, seriously, nowhere in the history of facial hair has ever been a good look. Hey, Macy, right down. Even my dog doesn't recognize me. The only reason Chuck Norris can pull it off is because people are afraid he's going to kill him twice. Which, by the way, Chuck Norris always kills people twice. Once to get rid of them, two to teach him a lesson. It works.
Stupid.
No, it's cool,
Because
man.
it's conveying personality,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. By the way, the embarrassing part of that is that video took several hours to shoot
You get a
because,
shave and all
well,
that?
first off, I had to grow the damn beard.
Yeah.
And then I shoot the whole thing. I shot the entire video 5 times. Once with the beard, once with the goatee, and I would have to walk home, shave, and like it wasn't bad with the beard. It wasn't bad with the goatee. But then when I did the Fu Manchu,
Handlebar thing?
oh, dude, like I'm in my
Is that what
elevator,
that is?
and I'm walking through downtown, just going, please, man, nobody's seeing me. Nobody's
Put on a
seeing me,
trucker
you know?
hat.
Yeah, it was just so bad.
Doozy.
And then the worst one though was that stupid mustache. Right, I'm like sitting in my elevator going, I hope nobody cute gets in this elevator right now because I do not want to have to show them this mustache. Anyway, so the whole idea is gifts should be free. People can stay here and they can keep watching video after video after video, and they've never had to actually submit any contact details. This is an important thing with the ascending transaction model because most websites, if you look at what their free things are they actually free? No. What do you have to do to get
Give
it?
them your email. It's
Right.
so annoying.
Yes. By the way,
So
this is
annoying.
interesting. I've never met somebody who doesn't find that annoying. But yet everybody's website has it.
Or if they have a box that floats around on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And you're like, move, get
So
out of the
there's this
way.
very weird
They
thing.
work, man. I know.
There's
They
this
work,
very
yeah.
weird thing where people hate these things, but then when they design their own website, they somehow falsely assume that everybody will love it if it's on theirs. Why? Well, because we have a vested interest. We think our product is so valuable, certainly it's worth an email address. So here's our philosophy, and that is that it does you no good to capture data if the data is false. And the majority of people nowadays, in fact, let's just do a show of hands to see. How many here have your bullshit email address that you use for submitting on websites that demand you give things to? You guys don't have? You guys
No, I just don't. I don't.
You just
like
don't
I
do
just
it,
go
right?
away.
Yeah.
Like as
It's
soon as that
over.
pops up and I
Yeah.
have to move forward to give them my stuff, I'm like, I'm out of here.
Most people have a bullshitting, or they just make up. Like I use bob@leemelo.com. It's not my website, but
All that spam mail you're getting, it's my fault.
Because I
Yeah.
use yours.
Yeah. Use mine. Yeah, I have a feeling Rob
awesome.
at Source One Solutions is going to get you some real interesting emails now. All right, I guess you're in here because we're supposed to take a break. Is that right? Yeah, we probably should. So let's do this. When we come back, we'll hot seat everybody's websites, and what we'll do is we'll just share with you how to maybe take something and tweak it when you modify it. So here's what I want you to do on this next process. Know that at some point in time we're going to get to your website, and you want everybody paying attention to your website and giving you good feedback. So make sure you stay involved and participate on everybody's as well. What is your website?
StyleEdgeFashion.com.
Style what?
StyleEdgeFashion.com.
Style Edge. Say it slower, please.
StyleEdgeFashion.com. Come on, you talk faster. Isn't that too easy in the middle, though? Oh, I own that. Yeah, there it popped up.
See,
Okay.
you committed here. That's
Yeah, see, I
amazing.
said the guy was there.
Yeah.
And here's basically where I'm at, is I know the website needs a lot of work and it needs to be redone. The things I hated the most about it are gone now, and now the rest of it needs to get fixed.
Well, so first off, this is strong.
So strong.
Yeah.
I love the font too. I really do actually.
Yeah, I think if you, like much to what John already said, if you had owned the room without making a statement, had that on here as well, it would probably help out so people
Okay.
don't think that you're a clothing company
right.
or something like that. It goes a little bit more.
Where would you put that statement on that page?
I don't think it's going to be tough. Doesn't really have a lot of copy space.
Right.
So I mean, you can maybe do something on the left or the right or both.
over here.
Yeah, you do not want it on his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's.
She spent no money on that.
It would
Oh,
actually
food on
have to
that
be
guy's
in the
face.
image though too, not actual text.
You can do it with HTML. Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise when you scroll, it's
Yeah,
the
you-
text would stay there, right?
You can do it with HTML. Yeah, no, it should be able to stay there if they do it right. I mean,
Okay.
It's not going to look perfect on every single
Gotcha.
one.
All right, so a couple of things. Now let's look at it from a perspective of: does this make me want to say, "Hi, come in and stay a while"? Right? Does it feel warm and inviting? I say yes. The picture itself. I mean, the guy's looking. He doesn't look pissed off or angry, but he looks definitely like a leader. But here's the first thing that screams to me is that I've come to the website. I don't have any dialogue, so I'm not sure if I'm supposed to scroll, but intuitively most people do anyway. So that's not as big of an issue as it was maybe 5 years
Yeah,
ago.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah. So it used to be everything had to be above the fold of the screen or whatever. So I get now that I've got who you are. I think this box around your face is not effective. So if you compare this photo, right? So look at this photo and compare it to your photo. Your photo does not look stylish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Polaroid
So
light doesn't work.
spend a couple $100, get a new headshot that just makes you look
Go
fucking
see McCoy.
awesome. Yep. And Mike McCoy's your guy.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna make you look better than him.
Every single person who's gone there. Their pictures.
Yeah, it's
look like
insane, right?
Their best.
I mean, you've seen his work.
And,
So
and you
definitely
go with
do
that whole, you know, if the motto is going to be own the room or whatever, like all of the pictures should be in that own the room kind of vibe.
And what you can do here is take that image, have him shoot it portrait, and you just do a clean right there, and then you just keep your copy to the left.
Okay.
Let's see here. So this is a little strange for me because this is Penny Soltis, and then it says enter the room and command it, or earn as the right to command the room. As our worlds become more visual
Yeah,
and
there's a
judgment.
lot of work.
It's not actually about you; it's about them. So it seems a little bit out of place there. I like that paragraph. I just don't like it right there because it takes me away from learning about who you are. I think you need to have a similar expression, like be that baller alpha bitch, but without looking like a bitch. You
Okay.
know what I mean? Like really just show that, because you've got that kind of. I mean, you have that
Patty
personality.
Flair.
Yeah, you do, right? Like you kind of got that.
Don't hide it.
Yeah, like have your head back a little bit. Oh, he'll do it. He'll work.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it really needs to have the same level of confidence that this picture has. Otherwise, it's going to drop down. In fact, show him this picture and say, I need to have the same level of control in my picture as this one.
Okay.
He'll work.
Can you go back to the other section?
Yep.
So from a keyword standpoint, actually go to the copy. So right here, you want this to be like your headline right here. It should be style edge. They're on your website, so they know that. So in here, the key term that you really want to rank for, that people searching for, that should be up here. So if it's image consulting, it should be something image consulting or something in that phrase.
Okay.
Right. Then you can actually do some of this as like a subhead, right? So you have this as maybe that text or even a little bit larger, and then your enter the room, you would have that as like a subhead, and then
Okay.
that goes into your story.
Yeah, and personally, I don't like all the words that are there because I think it's way too wordy.
Here's what I would say to that. Websites are word friendly. People that are on them are typically looking to read, although definitely video is making its play. Don't be afraid of long body copy. Be afraid of boring long body copy. So if you read it and it's boring, yeah, get rid of it or make it cool, make it a story. But people like to read cool stories, so there's nothing wrong with that.
Right, yeah. You can never bore
Okay.
somebody into working with you as a rule.
Perfect, yeah. Now, when I'm up here, so I scroll down here, and there's an ending point here, so I get that. So I might kind of intuitively want to come back up and see what's around. First thing that I get is from the home screen, I see you selling me your services.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, this is kind of how that feels. You come into my house and you go, John, how you doing? Can I get you something? A cup of coffee, a cup of water? What would you like? Bit of water. Yeah. That'll be $2. Like, that would be so weird
Okay.
to just sell somebody a bottle of water if they came into your house. You want to give them that gift that makes them feel welcome. So when you're looking at your 7 mistakes, those things we're talking about here, right up front, I'd like you to find a way to give me that gift. Okay?
Because what I want to do is a little further down.
Yep.
It's got the blog there.
Yep.
And then on the right-hand side, what I want to do is, because that's just a fucked up mess on that side.
That's awesome.
You don't judge.
That's where I want to put a video, is on that side.
Yeah, good.
That's what I want to do.
Cool. I think you could actually, by the way, I think you get rid of all of this stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
Or not get rid of it, but relocate that. And I think you could put a blog is a gift, by the way.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So get that up closer to the top to where you're starting to give content and give value.
Okay.
That's one way you can do that. You can also have, like I have the icon up here that just says gifts, freestyle report, however you want to do that. But really, I want to intuitively know I can click on something and get it for free
Okay.
with no stipulations or horse trading involved. I just get it, I can download it, I can watch it. The video's a great thing as well. I like welcome videos on websites, even though I don't currently have one on mine right now, but I do on my authorship page on Amazon, and we have one on Key Person of Influence, and we're creating a new one for our new company, Personify. So I think that's great. Good welcome video to say, hi, welcome to my home. Come on in and stay a while. We got a lot of great things for you here. First thing I'd
Even a little
recommend-
bit of a fashion tip or something that
Oh, yeah, that's right.
wouldn't negatively affect your incoming business.
Yeah.
There's plenty of stuff you can throw out there for the average schnook who's not going to use you anyway because he's in Iowa. You know what I mean? Who happens to come on your
Hey,
webpage?
you never knew I could go to Iowa.
Well, that's true.
It's some content that is huge in yours. How to tie a tie. How to tell if your pants fit. What does an actual break look like?
What is a break? Most men don't
Okay,
know what a
or
break
yeah,
is.
yeah, there you go. And then also how to choose the right fitting shirt. I mean, you have
You can
so
steal some of that stuff off.
Yeah, I have a
Great
ton of material
infographics.
already lined up that can go into it because when you're talking about shirts, one of the things I have lined up is knowing the difference between a dress shirt and a woven shirt. A lot of men don't know that.
I mean,
Number
for you
and
too,
size.
like he said before, you want to
Number
be
and letter.
badass but not bitchy.
Let's not
Yeah.
get that granular here, but all of that stuff, I want that to be free gifts.
Yeah, and
Okay.
you could say free fashion advice
Yeah,
or
free
something like
fashion
that. You don't
tips.
even need to say free gift, just like
Yeah.
free, and then you're also going to show up for searches for fashion advice.
And just like no one's gonna come and like take the recipes and never come to my restaurant. People are
Oh
too
my
lazy.
God,
They're
yeah,
gonna
it's one
still
of the
need to
number
hire
one
you.
search
Put it on
terms.
there.
Right,
They're not
right,
gonna read it like, well, I know everything I need to know now.
Yeah.
Use your services.
Right.
yeah.
So now I look at the services, I think that's fine. I just don't think it needs to be first. I want to know about you before I get sold by you. So even, like, I would put the about to the left of services. I would put the blog to the left of services.
Can you go to the drop down again?
On about or
Yeah,
services.
services. So when somebody drops your services, it should be more descriptive, like Stylage Syndicate. The rule is you never want anybody to think when they're on your website. It should just be.
That's a phrase, you guys should write that down. You never want people to think on your website. Brilliant.
And so, like when it says Stylage Syndicate, they're like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah, that drop down box is going to go away.
Well, we're not saying get rid of it. We're just saying change.
Oh,
the
it's gonna
title,
go away.
Right. So if by the way, executive consulting, I don't have to think.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it's crystal clear.
Gift certificates, I don't have to think. Style Edge Syndicate, I have to think.
Mhm.
That makes so just rephrase
Right.
that. Yep. You got your blog. Contact pretty much always leave in the upper right hand corner because just people habitually want to go there for that. But I will tell you my thoughts on this. So remember earlier we said the ultimate place we want them to be is on the website, right? But what's the purpose of the website? What's the ultimate purpose of having a website?
Get clients, make sales.
Right. So I'm going to unpack that. It's to facilitate communication between the customer and the provider. And that's generally the outcome we want. So this is something that's always boggled my mind with websites. If the whole purpose of a website is to facilitate communication between the customer and the website and the company, why do we hide our contact information in some contact us button that makes them have to click through, when the reality is, you don't know when I'm going to finally go, now I want to talk to Patty. So I think you should have contact information at the top of every single page. So when the desire for me hits that I want to reach out, right there is the email, right there is the phone number, right there is the whatever it is, right? So I'm a fan of actually putting all of that stuff in the header itself, so when the need hits, I don't have to go hunting.
I think it's a great idea.
That being said, as weird as this is, even if you do that, still have the stupid contact us button in the upper right hand corner, because people will literally go, "Where's your contact information?" and it's right there on the header, and they'll still pick the contact button. So I think it's becoming, I don't know, maybe less of an issue lately. Do you have an opinion on
Yeah,
that?
I do. Yeah, I think it depends on the type of work and the type of service. So, I mean, the design you have right now is like nice and clean, and you're kind of looking like you're almost like a magazine, right? Like a fashion
Yes,
magazine.
it is very fashion magazine.
So you wouldn't necessarily have to, follow that rule. It's not like if you're like an AC company or something, people are on there. They're like, my fucking AC is
Yeah, I
broken,
need to
man.
fix
Where's
it."
that phone number?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just
IT.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, something's broke. I mean, it's a broke fix type of scenario.
Okay.
In yours, I mean, you have more of a, how would you put it? It's like kind of you're trying to seduce them into working with you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. I like that opinion. Anything else on here, guys? Do you think? What speaks to you? What doesn't? All of your photos to me look very out of date, so I definitely want to get those things up.
My God.
Interesting call to action at the bottom.
This
Oh yeah,
is,
that's just
this is not
ugh.
specific to this site. It's all sites, and it's one of my pet peeves. I am, and again, you're more on the artsy side, but like all the different fonts drive me batshit crazy. Like when I see some wicked cool
Yeah.
font up in the corner, and then you have these 3 tabs that looks like you can write them with crayon. I mean,
No, so it depends on the style, guys. So
Yeah.
it's probably a pretty shit. Like you got Comic Sans on there
Yeah.
or something. I mean, you just need to hand somebody a shotgun and
Yeah.
play it.
you know, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it drives me nuts.
Yeah. So I mean, it should be something that fits within your brand's design.
Yeah.
I don't know what these images are here on your blog. What's that about?
Those are
I
broken.
just all needs. It's just bad. Let's just skip it for right now. I feel like it's not there because it's not good.
Okay, so it's
It's a
loading.
purposeful image, but it's just
Mhm.
weird. Yeah.
That's a great quote.
What?
Because your personality is the first thing people see.
That's very cool. All right, but Patty, I think you're being far too hard on yourself. Actually,
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I want to give you this feedback so when you start getting these tools, you know where to put them. And that's the big key here, right? So it's good. All right, let's go to
Thank
What's
you all
pharmacy?
very much. too.
pharmacy.com or
Thank you.
farm.
Hey, if you have any questions, though, feel free to.
Okay. Awesome, thank you.
And then if you need somebody to go to the Caymans with you, I'll help you out there too.
Okay. February 25th through the
Ooh,
27th.
love that cover.
Dude.
Wow.
Let's
Love
go.
the opening page, absolutely.
Yeah.
I like how it kind of loaded like that too.
Yeah, the logo, man. They had a.
I love the image, but I can't find your logo.
Yeah. No, it's something.
You could solve that
Yeah.
by a ghosted, a white ghosted. Here, I'll show you.
Just do a knockout. So where you have it in green, just do it in white.
What's that? The actual font? Of the
Yeah,
logo?
just do. Yeah, there should be a reverse of your logo.
There is.
Yeah, so just do
We
the.
own
Yeah,
10 versions of the logo.
so
See,
use
this-
the knockout.
So that's what I've done. So I just have that white bar.
Oh, so that when the scrolling begins, it
Yeah.
starts?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I want that all the way But the key is, like, if you look at this logo, that
Well, I just noticed that about
it's
your
just a
website.
white ghost. It's subtle, but it pulls it out a little bit. So
I love that. Just so
what's that?
That's a loading header. Yeah. We're doing a ton of
You know, I gotta tell you though, it's a pain in the ass on a phone
And that's one of the upsides
because it
of our
eliminates more square footage on the phone.
different.
Yeah, I think
If
so.
it's responsive, I mean, there's a ton of different ways.
Maybe it's the iPad. Yeah.
Maybe you should just have a Topher app.
Okay, so image wise, awesome. It does look a little bit more produce supplier kind of thing versus vegan restaurant. Like I don't get restaurant out of this, but I do get produce. But I love the colors and I love how bright it is. But since it's a restaurant, a vegan kitchen bakery, I would think there should be like a plate, utensils or something. Maybe I don't know.
Somebody
I'm not
take
sure.
that picture.
What's that?
That is a stock photo.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. All right. So you have what is that called? That's parallax.
Huh?
Yep. I love the parallax.
Oh, look, I do
effect.
get it. Look, right when you start to go down, that white bar does start to form.
There
See
it
how
is.
that
Yep.
flips up?
Brilliant.
But you could easily have that there.
Yeah, I don't see
Just a
why.
little- Like I know anything about it. You could easily have that there. It's so out of my hands
Simply,
right now.
never easily.
Yeah. Oh, is that it?
That's
Yeah.
a rule. That's a rule we have in the office. It's simple.
Tampa's best vegan kitchen. All right, cool. I mean, obviously you
Good
can have a lot of
keyword,
food here. What's that?
Tampa best vegan. That's a top search. Every best in the category.
Yep. Somebody knew what they were doing, right?
I,
I will tell you, I hate centered text. So I would rather have that left justified. The problem with centered text, beside it, in my opinion, looking kind of amateur from a layout, it's hard to read. It doesn't track well. Our eyes track much better with left justified than it was with centered. So I'm not a fan of that look.
Yeah, you don't have a space between that period and that T.
nice.
With a little subtle catch.
Yeah. Sorry. Maybe it's my site, and it's gonna have like two babies with swords on it.
Yeah, see, you've got this font, delicious, sustainable. It's kind of weird to have a hyphen on that.
That is super weird.
This is because it probably looks perfect on a website, but not on
This is our mobile
iPad.
view. Yeah.
Well, and to be fair, iPads, although they should know, iPad Pros are different than iPads. So this is not the mobile. You know this, but I don't know what the term is. But even though it's an iPad Pro, because of the screen size, it's actually the website version. But there may be a compatibility
middle
thing or something.
ground,
Yeah. Beautiful menu. Okay, so if you want people to see the menu, I think that needs to be a lot more prevalent. That kind of is hidden for me. All right, cool.
Well, I the site is cool.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
You should have your food products up there, though, brother.
You're
That's
saying use real images.
Yeah, man.
to show that it's a
If your Instagram is exploding with that type of stuff, I mean, that's a tall tale sign that you should also have that front and center.
nice, professional,
Yeah.
high contrast.
Yeah. You don't need bite and smile. That's like, somebody, it's an ad term. Somebody biting into the subway, like, oh,
Oh
tastes
yeah,
so
no,
good.
no.
Don't do that.
No, yeah, it's there.
Our stuff is super aesthetic. So
Worship
it
it.
can't be-
It
It is. It's an ad term, yeah.
Okay, so again, there's nothing free here, right? So when you get to
No,
the
he's got
place where
recipes.
what's that?
He has recipes.
Oh, is there? Where?
Keep going down. Keep going all the way down. But what I don't do.
Oh, right here.
Oh.
Tasteful. No, is it?
recipes.
Oh, those are you just stating that you have taste.
You have
Yeah,
tasteful
yeah, yeah,
recipes.
Yeah,
up
no,
at
but
the-
I'm looking at your recipes. My only thing
Where's
is
the
that,
recipes?
I don't know.
all the way at probably at the bottom, or probably part of our blog.
Yeah, recent posts, recipes, 16 delicious recipes.
Ah, got it.
But
So so that's a great gift that you've hidden. And
Make it front and center.
yeah. I mean,
can I ask you a dumb question?
yes. Or
Scroll
you can
down.
ask a smart one.
Because there's the picture and then what it is. And so I get confused when I'm looking at when you keep going down.
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, okay, I'm looking at this picture and then I see sugar, snap, peas, and down here. And then I've got to come down. I don't know, there's a title to it. I don't know, you guys, is the title before the picture or the title after the picture?
You're looking at something different than me. Oh, is that the 16 recipes?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll flip that.
Understood.
Because I get confused. I'm
But
looking
Oh,
at
it's
this.
yeah.
image
So,
and then
so,
link. Yeah.
so is this title for the next food down here, or is it for this food
Yeah.
up there?
That's what it
Great
gets you
feedback.
confused on.
Great feedback. Yeah.
The thing that I was waiting for everyone to say is that if you've ever eaten at my restaurant, you'll notice that the stock pictures are so far from things. First of all, nothing's on a plate at my restaurant.
Yeah.
So all that stuff you saw that's on plates.
Yeah.
First of all, the things on the plates do not represent things that we have.
Yeah.
That we offer.
That's true. It's like a misrepresentation.
It's a super
It
misrepresentation.
really, you really have more of a deli than.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, it's getting around to spending the money, having a photo shoot, and creating content that's based on our actual offerings. And even if they're slightly dressed up from what they really are, something in the same ballpark.
Yeah,
One of the
I
biggest
would agree.
things-
If I went to this website and then I came to the restaurant, I might kind of go.
Happens.
Oh.
So I have a constant battle every single day to win credibility from new customers. So people come and they go, oh shit,
I gotta microwave it myself.
That was one of my questions. Is
It's
there
a-
not a picture of
it's
the
a
restaurant?
deli? Now,
Well,
and
in
then I
fairness,
have
but your website does not say restaurant.
It
Yes,
says
it does.
it does say kitchen.
well, I mean, but people know that. You know, most of my
Kitchen and
customers are in this discovery phase where they kind of know what they're looking for, and
Right.
so they get there knowing they're going to get food. It's just when they get there, they're like, this is not what I thought, and I literally have to earn. Like, look, try the food. Wait,
Yeah.
please try the food. You know, and I have to talk up this game, and I have to make it
Oh
professional.
my,
Now I'm gonna check with Chris to make sure she got one of these.
I will let it know.
And fortunately, we can, people have already come so far, and they eat the food. They're like, oh my god, this is so great. Now we get what all the hype's about. But man, it's every single time.
I mean, is
I have
delicatessen
to-
a bad
I
word?
was gonna
Or
say, is deli about like? Could you change it to farm and vegan deli
I
and
would
bakery?
put deli in there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, any
Yeah.
other
It's
word.
almost
like I'd rather. I guess you almost wonder, like, wouldn't I rather have the challenge of like, once they're there, like, all right, we're gonna make up for it,
Yeah.
than never getting in the first place. Because a lot of people, when they,
They
do
won't
know our
know, yeah,
format, they
gotcha.
won't come. They'll tell us. I've talked to one lady last I guess it was a month ago now. She must have called me 4 times while she was in town. And she was like, I'm going to come there. I need somewhere fancy to take my mother. She's very fancy. Da da da. And I'm like, well, I'm going to be honest with you. The place is not fancy. Our food is exceptional. We are the experts on this subject in the Bay. We are the only ones to talk to. But it ain't fancy. She's like, all right, well, can you tell me where I can go? I'm like, all right, we'll work it out. Go to St. Pete. She calls me again. All right, well, we're going to come by, but it's still got to be fancy. I'm like, I'm not a fancy restaurant.
Yeah.
So it's a problem. But if we just went straight to deli, would they even call at that point?
I don't.
And they may not.
Yeah, the funny
it
thing
almost
is,
seems like when somebody walks in the door that you have to just
Yeah.
fight to get them to taste.
But
it.
I say erase all that. You should have a picture of you and your team behind the counter so they know what to expect. So you're not fighting anything. You're transparent.
Right,
what I
expectation
was
versus
thinking about.
reality, and they
Right.
match, and that's always been
Yeah.
a concern of mine, which is why I cannot wait to do a photo shoot because it's clear that there is a variance between those two
Can I
things.
say something? I'm,
Clear if you have to ask, it's
You
never
do
a good
trade
sign.
with the photographer, man.
Okay.
You have food.
all right, you're gonna do your own book, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm doing this cauliflower tomorrow night for my dad, right?
Mhm.
So I send there, and you send me to Cookie and Cake that says buy my vegan cookbook. So I would do the recipes that are on here that are your recipes versus sending them to competitor.
And this is just us trying to
No,
fill
no,
content.
no.
But you're absolutely right.
You should send them to a competitor's book.
Oh no, I realize that. This was just us like trying to get
No,
content on there, and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
no,
we,
it's a
that's what we
great-
get.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, you know,
You're right.
it's not
Although
synced up on
trust
the-
me, once the book is finished, that will be one of the first things you see on
Absolutely. Yeah.
there. Um,
So,
yeah,
all right, cool. Well, listen.
Where
I-
does the book go on the website, Topher?
What's that?
Where does the book go?
your gift.
Depends on your willingness to give it, but yeah.
So I've got a tab called Books.
Mm-hmm.
Click it, and it takes me to a website actually called tophersbook.com. And I got the book section. Yeah, but that's okay. What yours would so if you'd have a tag called My Book, and then it would just take them to the website on that. So this is my
Okay.
book website. Yeah. Which has a welcome video as well.
But you're selling these books here, yes?
Yes, in the sense that I'm sending them to Amazon because I don't want to be bothered with the
That's
inventory.
what I meant. This is not. You're not gifting your books, at least not through websites. You're using these other types of
Yeah,
gifts.
it's sellable. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, just have a page that just says a little section called books, or maybe it could be products or something like that.
You get shots like that, man. I mean, you can totally.
So easy.
Yeah. And so this is where, you know, my social media and my digital marketing guy is like, oh, you know, all the images should come from the same photo shoot because there's going to be different qualities. It's going to look weird. And he's like trying to tell me not to use these existing photos that we have.
Here's the problem. Done is better than perfect.
Agreed.
Yep. So if you've got photos and you could put them in, I'd say get it done now, and then schedule an appointment to get a photo shoot and get it done. But done is better than perfect, bro.
The question to him is like, all right, I need the dimensions for the images, you know, and then you can just start, you know, chopping away at it. Because yeah, you're having to just literally, I mean, think about your mental real estate that is invested every time somebody walks in that door. You haven't seen them before, and on your mind is like, oh fuck, and then look at the website. Am I gonna have this conversation?
Oh, yeah, it is huge. Big part of my day.
Well, and the other thing is that it might not even hurt to have a picture of the outside of the building or part of the ductweed so people
Yeah.
can see it. Because I mean, frequently I'll see people going like this, and I almost always know they're looking for a pharmacy.
Yeah.
And I go, "You looking for a pharmacy?" Like, yeah. I go, "It's in the grocery store." I go, "Go into ductweed, turn on it. It's in here." I'm like, "Yeah, just go in." They go, "Oh, we were
Well,
looking
thank
at the
you,
door."
first of all. But
Yeah.
yeah, you get it. That is my life
Yeah.
in a
Yeah,
nutshell.
I'd be proud of it. That's a cool kind of like hip thing. It's a very Brooklynish type of
It is.
deal. So I
It
mean,
is.
I'd lead with
But
it.
it's like double-edged sword because if you don't find
Claire,
us, we literally have
frameworks
people
of
that
Miami?
won't come. They're like, I give up. I don't know.
Is it frameworks of my?
Oh, frameworks Miami. Sorry.
All right, so you're in the process. You're going to do a revision of this, but make sure you have that place. Get those free things, those menus, and those like. Get that up front. Yeah. I want to learn how to cook food. I want you to sell me on the idea of having a vegan life, and then I'll still come out and eat your restaurants. All right, frameworks of Miami or frameworks Miami. Not
Yeah.
I don't know why. I keep
There's another guy that has frameworks, so we're frameworks Miami.
Gotcha. Is frameworks a but that's not, you're not a franchise or something like that.
No, and there's other frameworks that we can't
It's like the eyeglasses too. They're called frameworks, right?
framers, eyeglasses.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's framers that do the frame of your building. So
Right,
the company
right.
that owns frameworks actually does framing of buildings.
Like a frame.
Oh, so the person with the same name is in a different industry.
Totally different industry.
Got it. All right, cool. All right. So here we go. Now, a Premier Custom Framing Shop in.
Now we do mostly hospitality,
Mhm.
and this is geared towards custom, which is not our specialty. So we are in the process of trying to switch it to it's more hospitality versus.
Got it. All right. So I love this video, and I think it should be right up front, or use the pitch video that we're going to create for you inside the program. Have that up front.
That'll probably be what I do.
Yeah, but this is a good video. This is that one you guys showed me, right?
Yeah.
You put some good money into this.
Art is the finishing touch of life. So when a building is created or a hotel is built, the art is the piece that makes the puzzle fit together. Hello, my name is Chris Sweeney, and I'm the co-founder of Frameworks.
Art is a catalyst of life. You walk into an environment, and it's like oxygen.
By the way,
you have to breathe
this
it.
feels like I
My
want
name
to
is
hang
Claire
out in this
Martin.
home.
I'm one of the
Doesn't it?
co-founders of Frameworks located in my
It's really well done.
Integrity is a core value at Frameworks. It's not only integrity in the quality of the frame and the finish of the frame and the integrity of our work, but it's in the integrity of how we work together, how we communicate together, how we communicate with our client, as we actually
You guys
tell
are
them
big
the
time,
truth
Claire.
about deadlines and when they can expect their job
Big time.
and where they are and what. Integrity is in the fabric of everything we do, not just the frames.
They are able to reinvent the normal things that we typically do. So it's taking it to the next
And I
level.
know from our
So
video,
it's not
I
just
never
about
worry
creating
about
art,
penny
it's
shortage.
about creating
Right, yeah.
Too much
of
noise.
art
Right.
that becomes the focal of the room. So the possibilities are endless.
So we have the opportunity all the time, whether it's a room or an entire hotel, to transform people's experience being in the space. And when we have the opportunity to create artwork and the colors and the textures and the vibrancy, you walk in and it's a completely different experience than if it wasn't there.
Our ideal clients are interior design and architects who are working on a project that they need a solution to something. We love to tell people that we can make the impossible possible by finding creative solutions to issues that they've not even thought of.
I think for us, we're the art liaison between the artist and the designer. We know what artists would work best on which projects, and then we present those artists to the designers based on what they're looking at.
The high-tech aspect of frameworks always blows my mind because I'm not a real techie person, and I have to call Chris lots of times to ask her advice. Chris is always on the cutting edge on all new technology.
Our services include art consulting, picture framing, creative artwork, manufacture of unique frames, delivery and installation.
So some of the printing possibilities that we have here at Frameworks include plexiglass, wood, aluminum, canvas.
We believe that the product must speak for itself and that our reputation is the most critical part.
Frameworks is committed to providing exactly what you need for your project. All of our resources, all of our creativity, all of our innovation, we play all in. We don't go halfway. We're committed to solving what you need when you need it.
If you would like more information,
visit frameworksmiami.com.
Good. Like, it didn't bore me.
The outside of your building was really cool.
Yeah.
She's got, so the two facilities, that's the art gallery. It's badass, dude. She's got this high-end art gallery, and you don't even see the frames. They're like tucked away in the back, and it's just all image. It's really done well. Yeah, it's pretty badass.
You guys bootstrap that? Is that you start that from scratch? That company?
Yeah.
They've done well. So, once again, home, and then the first thing you're doing is selling me your services.
Right.
But I've got this blog and these videos and things that ease me into this, right? Let me get to know you before you sell me, sort of thing. Because I'd like to read about the blog. I want to kind of see what these videos are as well. That's the same video. And then you got these.
That was the how-to, was watched like 5,000 times.
Gotcha. Okay, so these are all how-to video. I love this.
Yeah.
These are all free gifts,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Now I don't have to do anything. I can just watch them, right?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
How do you
Chris
get
Sweeney
there?
from Frameworks here. Today I'm going to walk you through step by step how
Yes.
things go to acrylic. Let's go. So the first step is in our creative department. Our creative director here is taking the image, the digital image,
Yeah, these are great. Can you guys see, by the way, how notice how they reacted when they saw all these videos, right?
Right.
But yet it's over here. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah, we need to move it over.
Yeah, I would even be a little bit more clean, so I don't have to think. I would actually call that how-to videos.
Okay.
Would you agree?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely.
And I think it's home.
You could say how-tos.
Yeah,
People
home.
go to those
Yeah,
videos.
how-to or how-to videos or something like that.
Okay.
And you know, the cool thing about that, and this is where we always talk about decommoditizing your services, right? If you didn't know, well, you guys have known her for a while now, but now what's your impression of her company after that first video?
You guys are the experts.
Yeah.
And what did you just say? You looked at me and goes, that's a real
They're,
deal.
Yeah.
yeah, you guys are big
Right.
time.
They're big time. That's what you said. You go, these guys are big
And I
time.
would want to hang out on your website because it's just a resource. Your gifts are actually meaningful. They're not even like bait gifts. Like people
Right.
could, you said, you know what I mean? Like there's actually some content that's usable.
Yep.
That's really cool.
No, this is fantastic. So you've got such great content here. Let's get that up first and foremost to where when I walk in, the first thing you do is give me a free gift called hours of footage. How long are these videos each, brother?
They vary
Okay.
from a couple minutes
And where else can I see these videos?
to YouTube.
I can see them on YouTube. Anywhere
We
else?
haven't linked them to LinkedIn because I didn't know if I should link those to LinkedIn, and I don't do the share. I talked to the guy about doing the Fiverr,
Mhm.
so I think we should be doing that with some of those.
So this is something that's good advice right now, but in 6 months it may be bad advice. LinkedIn's just got into the video space in the last, 6 months?
Yeah.
Yeah. And as a result, LinkedIn right now is promoting videos so heavily that it's back to where Facebook was, you know, years ago, actually even last year with their, you know how like right now you put a video on Facebook and nobody watches it, but you go Facebook Live and everybody watches it? Well, that's because they're promoting the live videos. LinkedIn's doing the same thing with videos now. So where you can post these how-to videos on Facebook, you might get 100 views. You post these how-to videos on LinkedIn, you get 5,000 views because they're just really printing the hell out of them. So absolutely put them up on LinkedIn. I don't know, because I haven't played around on LinkedIn. Jody has. Can you upload YouTube videos there, or do you have to upload the video into LinkedIn?
I think it would just be the link, yeah. Otherwise, it's they're trying to compete with Facebook on the videos.
So they want you to upload the video into their.
As far as I know, yeah.
Got it. So, which is fine. I would take these videos, find them on your hard drive, and upload them directly into LinkedIn.
What you can do too, Claire, is you can load the link. Like when he opens that up, it creates a link, and you can take that link and copy and paste that into LinkedIn, and it'll pull a picture with it, along with the, you know, to click into it.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Is LinkedIn wanting you do they want your video on their server, or do they want the link?
You can just put the link in, and it'll pull a picture. You know, it'll pull like that link picture.
That's what I'm saying. But will they promote the video like they would if you upload it? And I don't know.
That I don't know. I just know how to do that part of it.
But listen, you may be missing thousands of views if you do that, as opposed to actually uploading the original video, just like you did in YouTube, uploading it into LinkedIn, because they are promoting the hell out of those things. Jody got like 800 views yesterday on one video. It's insane.
Yeah, that's good.
So, like for example, I just released today. So today I just released my top 10 books of 2017, and I know that post isn't going to get much feedback on Facebook right now. So what I'm going to do after this today, I'll probably do it tomorrow, just because I'm not going to get to it today. There's some stuff going on. I'm going to basically do a Facebook Live video reading this blog. Right, where I'm just going to basically go, okay, here's my top 10 lists. The first one is unoffendable. Here's what I really liked about the book, and I'm just going to zip through that, because I know that if I take that Facebook Live video, I'm going to get a ton of views. And then I'm going to go to LinkedIn, I'm going to do the exact same thing, because I'm trying to promote my seminar for the #1 book of the year, Profit First. So I've got a link in to where people can go and sign up for the thing, but we're not going to get that traffic. But if I do a Facebook Live video, I'll get tons of people to go over to it. So, by the way, that's another way to repurpose it, right? So now that I've got the blog, I'm going to do a Facebook Live talking about the blog with a link to the blog. How long does that take you to do? 2 minutes, 3 minutes? I mean, the beautiful thing about Facebook Live is it's redefined the standards for what's appropriate on video. You can be stupid and unprepared and hem and haw, and that's kind of the crap they like. They like it to be raw and unprepared. And and by the way, so if you have prepared video, so this is something I've done, and John, I'm interested in your opinion on it, but it seems to be working pretty well, because I noticed that minute to pitch of videos were getting less and less.
You told me how you hacked this. Yeah, I like that.
So I've created a hack where on my computer I've got this. I don't know what it is. It's an actual software that you install, and then I can do Facebook Live from my laptop, but insert pre-recorded video. So
that's really cool.
So for a minute to pitch it, what I used to do is just upload the videos. But now for the Tampa Bay Business Minute, I actually get on Facebook Live and I go, hey, thanks for tuning in. This is the Tampa Bay Business Minute. Today's topic is about how to actually scale your business. I hope you enjoy the video. It's like, and then I just sit there and I play the video. And then it gets done and I go, well, I hope you like that. If you got any questions, make sure you put them in the comments section. If you like it, make sure you share, like, and I hate doing all that crap, but that's what I'm doing now. And those videos get a ton of views. You guys want to talk to John Efron?
Oh, that's your.
He's awesome.
Yeah. He's coming to Tampa, I think, next week.
Yeah.
He's awesome. We watch him. He was our favorite on Last Comic Stand. He's a comedian.
I walked
He
in.
is
Oh,
clean,
I hung up on him. I was gonna put, yeah, he's funny. He won Last Comic Stand.
and he's a clean comedian. He did this whole bit about the cape and the dish towel.
Oh, he's gonna be here. We're doing a KPI rendezvous, by the way. We'd love to have you guys come.
Let's get your rendezvous.
just social fun things we do that aren't business related at all,
When
but
is it?
all the KPIs can get together and kind of just
Oh,
each
that's
other.
it's
It's going to be what?
Do some of these
You're a
parts.
We
marketing
should.
guy.
Well, let's do it. Let's
Why
do
don't
it.
you
I was looking for something more specific.
So John will be here in the Improv. I think it's coming up in 2 weeks, and I think we're all going on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. Jody will be putting out a link inside Facebook. We'd love to have you guys go. The tickets are $15. It's just a fun night. Yeah. We usually bring in 30, 40 people.
And seriously, he's a trip. Like, if you haven't seen him,
And
he's a
I
funny
love
dude.
stand up, man.
But he's a funny dude. He's clean. He's a funny dude.
Yeah, we wrote this book together. That comes in from the future. So it's a book for the 20-something kids from 40-year-old dudes.
Oh, smart.
And every chapter begins with "One day you will." You know, so the whole book's about one day you're gonna come home and your girlfriend bought a bath mat at Target. Looks like a rainbow vomited on your floor. You need to understand, never get that bath mat wet. Dry that shit off in the bathtub. Don't step on that thing wet. Give this to your girlfriend. It's what she needs to do for her imaginary friends who come over that she can brag that she's in control of the home, right?
Yeah,
Just fun
yeah.
Stuff like that. Showtime.
So if I noticed when I walked into the bathroom, you had Michael Calowitz's book up. I'm gonna assume what the purpose of that was. Was that you plugging something you co-signed
Well,
as
so
a technique,
yeah.
or was you just showing an example of how he's got?
No, I was actually showing an example of how I repurpose a product that I've already created, and now I'm going to find a way to repurpose it. So my latest blog, which I released today, is my top 10 books of 2017. So that's what you saw was these books, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, sir.
But the whole point of the blog isn't to really get people to buy the books. The whole point is for them to scroll down and read number one. And what does it say in number one? It says, in fact, I'm so impressed, I've actually flying this guy down. Would you like to meet him? Click here for more details. And then you can click on it. Oh, there.
This like spurred a thought in my mind.
So-
There are a couple documentaries that like literally funnel people into my restaurant.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering how I should be trying to leverage that. If I should post them on my website in the blog section or something like that. But like some disproportion of like people like fall into the discovery phase of my restaurant in our category after watching What the Hell or one of these other like kind of documentaries.
Yep.
So
So there's two answers to your question. One is the strategic, and this is great for everybody to get. And Alex will talk more about this on Profile. The first answer to your question is from a strategic SEO, getting your ranking up kind of question. He could answer that better than I could. I don't know if it's smart for you to put those videos on your website. I would think it would be, but
Well, I think it's writing your opinion about the videos. So the video's on there, and you just state, whatever. Or have the conversation.
I'm here for you.
You feel like you're done your mouth.
Sorry,
No,
no
it's all right.
fires is for you.
Yeah. So I mean, I would write your opinion, on there, like what you thought of those videos, and state it that way. And I think the other thing that you can do is then share that on your social media. Get everybody else's thoughts, get everybody engaged, so that they're sharing the conversation. Yeah.
that was my other half that I was going to talk about. So think on that one. The second half, which also complements that, is that social media is for socializing.
Yeah.
Right. And if you see something you like, you should say it. That's the whole point, right? So whether or not it helps you from an SEO perspective, it's just kind of a cool thing to do, especially if you're getting business from them. I would think that if you put it on your social media, you tag the director, you tag the producer, you tag the on-air talent, and then you ask for people what they think, and they started a dialogue. You never know. I mean, that documentary might then go, we're getting some sales from this guy, right? And then all of a sudden, the next time they're filming another,
They might stop in.
They might stop in. They might see you as an expert and say, we'd like to feature you on this thing, and that's pretty cool. I mean, we actually got some of our clients. Rod Hessel is going to be in a new movie. We got him as a result of doing that. So we had saw a video of this person that we liked. I can't remember what it was. One of our clients,
About
that
sports.
this lady. It's about sports. And we've got I think 4 of our clients inside this documentary. So absolutely, it's just that's from a just being social. But tag them and get them in. Yeah. I would send. I would send an email or a letter or a card to the director and the producer of those things and just say, I just want you to know you're making an impact. People watch your video and they come in and they buy our food. Thank you.
That's a
If you're
great
ever in the area,
Yeah.
dinner's on me, right? Maybe even worth FedExing them a box of donuts or
Yeah.
something like that. You'd be shocked at how people do this. Look at Daniel. Study Daniel Neary. He's from KPI 7. Yeah. Daniel Neary is fearless in reaching out to celebrities. And if you look at him on Facebook, in fact, I'll just pull it up real quickly. See, I have to log into Facebook now. Pain in the ass, isn't it? Guess what? I'm not on Facebook all damn day. So let's just pop up Daniel Neary real quickly. 40 minutes. Yeah, 40 minutes. Daniel,
NYRI.
NY,
NYIR.
there we go. So he is fearless in reaching out to authors.
Something different there.
Somebody I think was trying to log in.
That's very.
They just realized they were on the wrong Apple ID.
Oh.
There we go. That's funny. Oh wait, no, that wasn't. Sorry. Back up. All right, here we go. So Daniel took his book Fit Biz and he has sent it to every one of his ideal entrepreneurs, from Elon Musk to Richard Branson to all this stuff. As a result, he just got a handwritten thank you. Nothing to see here, just a personal note from the author of Good to Great, Built to Last, Jim Collins. Thank you, because he sent him his book about how to have a fitness gym, right? He's getting tons of handwritten letters from these New York Times best-selling famous authors that are connecting up with him.
That's huge.
It's huge, yeah. He not only, by the way, he did this with the authors of Blue Ocean Strategies. Blue Ocean Strategies is coming out with their next book. Guess who's being featured in Blue Ocean Strategies?
No way.
Daniel Neary, yeah.
Wow, that's
Because he
huge.
wrote him and saying, hey, a friend of mine recommended your book. I loved it, changed my life. Just so you'll know, we use Blue Ocean Strategies in our gym. We've invented this new thing, and they're like, we'd like to feature you. And now they're featuring him in Blue Ocean Strategies, Part 2. Yeah, but if you look at his posts, he's got all these pictures of famous people. God, I think Tim Ferriss sent him a thank you card. There's one other guy named Ty Lopez who I think is just a royal douchebag on his videos. I can't stand him, but he has like millions of followers. Yeah, and Ty Lopez got his book. He sent it to him, and Ty Lopez took a picture and tagged him.
Oh,
And
wow.
now millions of people are seeing that Ty Lopez is reading the book on Fit Biz.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Yeah. So he's sold plenty of books as a result of that. So that's the kind of thing, right? Reach out to all those guys, send them thank you cards, send them a copy of your recipe book when it gets done, and you'd be surprised. Then these famous directors, Al Gore, will be posting it, going, "This is a great book. I have my wife cook a meal or something like that." That's like,
Do so
Now
with
you
Trump too. Just see what happens.
yep. What's that?
Then with Trump too. See what happens. He eats McDonald's every day.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll help you too because he invented it. So
Yeah. That's actually not too far off. He actually was one of the founding people who did. I mean, it's severely misquoted, but he actually was a part of the very first internet. You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't.
He was actually one of the people when the government created the intraweb or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
it's
yeah.
called. Yeah, he was a part of that project.
Really?
Yeah.
Alan Gore.
It's been totally misquoted
Yeah,
and
yeah,
misquoted,
yeah.
right? And he was wrong to. I don't even think he actually said he invented the internet, but it's a bit like people thinking Sarah Palin said, "I can see Alaska from
Right.
my house." Well, no, a lady on Saturday Night Live imitating her did, but she will forever go down. And
Yeah.
all right, let's go to Source One Solutions.
MySource1Solutions.com.
MySource1Solutions.com. You have every variation of that, correct?
I believe so.
All right, good. If not, by the way, you should. You should have My Source, the number one solutions, and then just have it forward
Probably
through.
have to buy it from people.
What's that?
He's probably have to buy it. Those other, if they don't own them, someone else.
yeah, they
owns
were
them
actually
by
just
now.
talking about this in my office yesterday.
Waters, for sure, people own those.
Oh my god, it's awful.
All right. So your company does three things. It does security, it does components, and it's loading very slow, but I'm going to blame the Wi-Fi on it. And then technology solutions.
That would be
IT.
ironic.
Well, we'll see if the next one pulls up easy. So once again, from a house welcoming you, how do you feel when you look at this?
At least it's easy. It's so
You
easy.
feel like you're going to the emergency room.
It's
It
surgical.
it does.
It is surgical.
It's
cold.
very
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah.
It's very stale,
Yep.
right? It's
Remember,
what it is. It's
It
very
stays here.
correct. It's very IT.
To me, I mean, I don't think it is even very IT because IT websites are very, and you know this, you get on them, they're very poppy at you. You mouse over something and it explodes,
Okay.
and it's not even that. It's
We designed one for CIO, I want to say 2 years ago. So if you go to CIO Tech, I can give you one.
How old is this website?
That one's, from what I understand, that one's 2 years old. If you go to ciotech.us, this is one we kind of try to humanize as much as we just
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Let's go back to this one here. So basically, this is my choose your own adventure book. I can choose security components or technology, and until I choose one, I don't really know what to do. Yeah, you're making me think.
And then, so, I mean, I guess in your line of business, like, how often is somebody just going to come to this page?
well, I mean, it's the website they're using all the time.
So this is the one
So
that's-
if you want security, you're not going to a security specific page. You're going to My Source One Solutions, and then bam, there's security. If you want IT services, you're going to go to My Source One Solutions, and then bam, there's your link.
Right.
If somebody was just looking around,
Yeah.
They would know where to go. So here's the thing: because you have 3 individual silos, this may be the only option, right? John might come up with a better solution, but even if you do this, it's still not warm and welcoming. Or even if you had a stock photo, of a woman going like this, and it says "Choose your own adventure," right?
Yeah.
Not those words,
Right.
but that sentiment where it says, "Hi, welcome to Source One Solutions. Please select, where you would
Click
like
on
to
the
go
technology.
first." And then they can pick the one that they
Right.
want. But this otherwise just looks very stale.
and then even when you go, see now it changes to Source
Source
One
One
IT.
IT, gotcha.
And then, but it takes you to a different tab, so it's not, it doesn't, you can't go back to, like, if I go to components, it takes me to a separate tab.
What's that?
It's actually so I've still got Source One
Yeah,
Solutions
yeah.
here. It's opened a new
You're
tab.
opening a new website essentially.
It's going to a new website, so
Yeah.
now I can't get back to Source One Solutions unless I realize, there's another tab here.
Right.
Or, no, maybe I could hit home. We'll see what
But if
happens.
you're on a phone.
No, yeah, you would have to, you can't hit that if it opens up a new tab. It did open up a new tab?
It did,
Yeah,
but I may be able to hit home, and then it might open up a third
No,
tab.
it doesn't.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Well, wait, no.
Yeah, for the best usability, you want to keep it the same tab, unless it's social media.
All right. Well, websites are loading kind of slow right now. Just check and see if I'm.
Good. Right, so there you go. That's the main
I'm
thing.
back on the wrong website. Here we go. Let me fix this.
That's something that was fun.
Hmm?
That's something that was fun.
This is the one that's live.
Is that
This is the one that's live. This is the managed services. This
Yeah.
isn't security.
And then, yeah, we're focusing
This will
on
go fast.
You're focusing on security. So obviously we're getting there, right?
Yeah, well, that still needs a ton of work too.
It needs a ton of work, yes, but see what I'm saying here? Things, you're moving the mouse around, things are happening. That's how an IT page should be,
Right.
in my opinion anyway,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
okay? Because even here, right? And this is one thing I can't figure out, so.
Yeah. See, once again though, this
You
is
love
all stock photo, and for the company size that you guys are at right now, I think you should be spending some money getting some actual shots of your staff and your people doing. Even if they're doing this exact shot, fine, so be it.
Right.
But I think it really needs to be very much
Yeah.
your company now, and you've got the budget and the ability to do that. So again, there's nothing free here. Doesn't make me feel warm and
There's
welcome.
no gifts.
Yeah, there's no
There's a
gifts.
free quote you can get.
What's that?
You can get a free quote.
Yeah, it's not. I have a hard time.
I
reading
usually
this, by
give
the
you
way.
one from Jaws.
So this is. I
The
will
one
tell
that
you-
says get a free quote at the bottom.
So I will tell you this. This is one of my pet peeves about websites, and I actually blame Tim Cook and Apple for this as much as I do love them and I sniff their butts all the time. I am annoyed by the level of gray text on white background. it looks pretty, but it is unfunctional. And maybe it's just because I'm close to 50 and I don't have the eyes to be able to do that. But there are so many websites now that I just can't read them. Having text. This is one of them. I can't even read this stuff. Right?
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
bad. And that's a thin font as well.
It's a very thin font. Yeah. So
if you actually X out of that and you go to the security page, because that's the one that's currently being worked on and it is live, you'll notice some changes. So we are working in the right direction, and I guess you can't do everything at one time, right?
correct. But what you do need to know that since you're revising these, you need to get to this web designer right away and say, we need to create a channel for free gifts, and this is the order that I want it. And if you do that, you'll be better off. Because then you just got to pay to redo it anyway, so might as well have them do it. And also, by it creates a crisis. Because if on your website it has a place called free gifts, and you got a free gifts, guess what? You'll have them up pretty damn fast.
So there's the free gift. It's a picture of Rob.
Yeah.
That
So
is free.
once again, even on this, so here's the thing. It's not welcoming to me, but this picture is so good, right? Like if that were
Is that a
up,
McCoy shot? It looks like
it is, yeah. If that were up here, where there was a quote from the founder and CEO, welcoming me to the site, I would feel more like this is not your typical security systems kind of thing. Yep.
We do have the phone number right on the front page at the top.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
All right, well done. Yeah. But when I scroll, it disappears.
Have a floating head.
All right. All right, cool. Let's go to what's your site?
It's for Vital Agency.
VitalAgency.com. All right, you guys tell me. Warm welcome.
That's a video, but not on that.
What's that?
It is a video.
Oh, actually, it's moving right now. Oh, awesome.
Is it going to start talking to me automatically? Or do I
No,
take-
it's just playing in the background to show some life. It's a movie.
I like that kind of effect, by the way.
Or business, for your business.
Does it work well in all
I like it.
platforms?
Are
or is
they
that
having
just
lunch?
browsers?
What's that?
Are they
it's
having
just,
lunch?
It's just the window through our conference room.
Oh,
I don't know what the hell they were doing that day.
almost looks like they're having lunch.
Is it
Like
your
she's
team?
getting a bottle of
Yeah.
water, she's opening it, she's drinking it, and then she's setting it down. It looks like they're having lunch.
No, it's Tony in the back there.
I do like the word picture.
No. But this is 2.5 years old. So our next one's our homepage now. It's all just like our case studies written into like stories. So it's like how we help to manufacturer, increase their top line by $50 million. How we helped a small law firm grow into the largest one in Florida in their practice area. And it ties the service into the.
Okay, so a couple things from just an experience perspective.
Yeah.
This floating window is not as annoying as most of them are.
Yeah.
I like that it's the lower right-hand corner. To me, it came up too soon.
Yeah, it's supposed to. So, and it's funny you mention that. So, I sound like I got a box of stories here. So, we implemented another one. It's the browser. This is something that everybody should look at. It's where you subscribe into your browser. So, if there's any updates to your blog, it automatically publishes it to your blog. But we have it's really strong, but we have so much tracking technology on our website right now that it's breaking our website.
Okay.
So we'll be able to we're actually filming this session. So later on, like my team will look at this and be like, hey, who the hell was this in Tampa at this IP address? Yeah, so it's pretty great.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm contacting everywhere that you've asked me. So far, I've done 3 subscribe, connect, marketing tips. Is there a way to instead of doing it 3 times, I just do once and I'm done?
Yeah, there is.
Wow, good feedback, Claire.
Yeah.
Because that's annoying.
I know, and we will annoy you into subscribing.
I did. But I did the book.
I'm just kidding.
But I'm just saying, instead of that, like you've signed up for the book or the free book or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then instead of signing your email, can it register that you've already entered your
It's
email and then you
supposed
just
to. Yeah, I can check. It's probably just 2 pixels clipping or something.
You made a comment earlier while we were talking about.
All right, here's the big test.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it's
Get the
not.
essential guide to lead nurturing.
Oh,
Get
yeah,
your
I
copy.
did that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
you have to give your
I got
email.
at least 1 or 2 of those a day. So.
Ah!
Oh yeah.
He said he loves it though.
I was gonna say that's what I was gonna bring up. Like, the stats show you guys, capture at some ridiculous rate or something.
Yeah, we get at least 1 or 2 a day just off that ebook alone. So.
Oh, well, you got me today. So what the hell,
Have you done an accuracy track where they're legitimate emails? Like, let me ask you
Yeah.
this. So if I download now, does it email it to me, or can I
Yeah,
give you a bogus
You
address?
can. You all email.
Hold on, let me see if I got it.
That's why. It's
Yeah.
How many people click off?
Not as many as you think. I mean, it's got a really high conversion rate. I'd say that conversion rate is probably like 20-30% range.
It's not bad. Ultimately, here's my, and I'll stand by my.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I think it's still a douchebag move to make it look like it's written, right?
Yeah, no.
And I'm not saying that this isn't appropriate. I have these things on my website, and there's a time and a place for products, for prospects.
Yeah.
But right up front,
No, and I
you
agree.
haven't earned the right to ask me for my email yet.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
No, and I'm with you. So on the homepage, and see the thing is, if I pull that off the homepage, people are graded in my office based off of certain KPIs.
Mm-hmm.
So our content manager, she's bonused essentially if she hits so many per month. So she wants that in as many places as possible.
So if we all subscribe to this right now, you have to pay her more money.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, but I hear you. I don't think it should be on the homepage, and our next design is not going to be, because as far as the conversion rate based on having it in the middle of blog posts, that's where it's strongest. Where people don't, like, oh, hey, you want this amazing guide?
Did you just hear this? Say that again.
Having it embedded in the middle of blog posts has the highest conversion rate.
I'm going to point out what he just said. It works better if I give them a gift first before I ask for their prospect information. Because the blog is a free gift.
Yeah.
I get my value. You've earned it. Now I'm going to, and your data actually shows.
Just proved this
Yeah.
point.
I wasn't disagreeing at all. Yeah.
So
I don't
another
have it
trick.
yet.
What's
I
that?
don't have it yet.
Okay.
So now here's the thing.
I'm
Just
letting you know.
drilling you, dude.
On the
I
stakes
know.
be burned, my friend.
So here's the thing. This is the essential guide to nurturing leads with email marketing, correct?
Yes.
All right. I'm not saying take this out. I'm not
Right.
saying change any of this part. But what I'm saying is perhaps insert a preliminary step which gives you the same effect in your blog. And it could be something as simple as when I click that video, right, from the original thing, it says, get your guide. What you do is there's a video there, maybe even on this page, right? And it says, hey, thanks so much for clicking over. Before we even send you the video, or before we even send you the book, I want to take a few minutes to just give you some really cool content right now that I think you're going to love. Here's 3 things that everybody needs to know, whether they download the book or not. Please don't leave this site without watching the rest of this video, and I'll share with you at the end how we'll take it and give you 4 more, right? And then you just give them those 3 pieces of content. And at the end you go, so there's your 3 key things that every business owner needs to know. Listen, the book itself has 17 more of these great tips. I hope you enjoy it. All you have to do is just put in your information to the left there, and we'll send it to you via email. You can download it, and you can upload it into iBooks and Kindle, and you're going to love it. We're really proud of it. We worked really hard on it. And if it's just something like
Just showed us the something.
Yeah.
You did
So I
that.
Dan
signed
Bradbury.
up, I signed up
Yeah.
for your blog,
Yeah.
and then you have start reading articles on important topics now. Does
Yeah,
that
actually the way you did that
can I get there before I have to sign up for the blog?
Hold on. I'm sorry.
No, because this looks really interesting. This to me, I would definitely read. This at the bottom of that.
Yeah.
Can I get there without having to sign up for your blog?
No.
So you put some friction in there.
Yeah, so it's essentially, so they sign up for your blog, and then you want to just drive them to, your latest
You see,
posts.
If you had that, I would sign up for your blog. I mean, obviously, I already signed up for your blog,
Right.
but I think.
But you're also not typical. You're testing his website.
Right.
Yeah.
If you had that, I would go. Excuse French. I go, shit. He knows what he's doing. I want to get more
Yeah.
information from him.
No, and I appreciate that feedback. Yeah, the purpose of that is like, all right, now that we just had you sign up for a blog, we wanted to drive you further into the website, and get more.
I want to go into your website. I want to get to
Yeah.
trust you because
And the
I don't
main
know where.
thing, so our biggest traffic drivers, it's not our homepage or anything else. It's all of our blog posts.
But I can.
But I can't get your blogs unless I sign up.
You can go to our blog. It's
Okay,
on our
but can I
website.
just
And
say-
you're going to find
Just
it through
can't get
search.
those blogs.
You can. Those are all over our website. Yeah.
They
So-
are on your blog.
Yeah, so this is a landing page that doesn't have a navigation on purpose, because once you're on there, we don't want you navigating away. We want you doing one thing.
Yeah, but
So, yeah, if you
okay.
go to
So
our
if you
blog-
hit blog,
Yeah.
Topher, hit blog
Yep.
right now.
Telling you.
Yep. So this is the blog.
Okay, so you can't get it without signing up for your blog.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, okay, then
Okay.
that's fine.
Got a ton of ebooks and things. We're losing all that on our next design, all the things over there. And And then you have all the posts. You can
Okay.
contact us at the bottom.
Yeah,
Okay,
good.
then that's good. Okay, I went the other way then. Perfect.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
absolutely.
cool.
I like the part, John, that you have on SEO search on your marketing thing. It says now they see you, now they don't. Like for me, that's so applicable to everything you do. That little phrase, now they see you, now they don't. Like,
Where's that?
It's the copywriter I fired to do the brochure for what's worth.
but yeah, but that's an awesome phrase.
I know, yeah, hey, she got some. She
Because
missed
that's
some.
the whole
You know.
point. I mean, you're
Yeah.
teaching people digital marketing where you're in the blink of an eye, you're relevant, and now all of a sudden you're just not,
Right.
and
we
we're
gotta-
keeping them
we gotta
relevant.
roll because I just realized, holy crap, it's 4:30. So let's.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So a couple things here.
Yeah.
Once again, more personality. You have personality.
I
Let's get
know,
that
I
out
know.
there,
I
okay?
got this weird thing
Yeah.
about, like the guy behind the curtain.
LOrtega.com.
Or Tega.com.
Real copywriter inside of them.
All right, let's zip these through these last two. I apologize. I just now realized, holy shit, it's 4:30. Okay, so pretty IT looking. Yep, obviously. And here's the challenge with that is that if your website looks like every other IT website, you're immediately a commodity.
Right.
Give me your price. I want to know, right? So the whole idea, follow the Walt Disney principle, right? Observe the masses, do the opposite, right? So we want to have this website look like anything but an IT website. We want it to look like this is a cool group of people, right? I mean, can I find out here that you own a Mexican restaurant?
Oh,
I think
that's
that'd
true.
be kind of cool,
Yeah, man.
right?
Absolutely.
I'm not just.
I didn't know you owned a
guy.
Mexican
I own a
restaurant.
Mexican restaurant, and I
But
would
to own
love
two
to have the opportunity to buy you a free lunch if you want to learn a little bit more about how we can help your school. I mean, that's the kind of crazy fun stuff. And I go, this guy's cool, man.
You can have like a true or false on there. True or false, am I Mexican? Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's risky, but it's cool.
Yeah, risky is cool.
Yeah, what are you?
Ecuadorian.
What?
Ecuadorian.
Ecuadorian. Huh? At least I didn't say, oh, y'all look the same to me.
That was close enough.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, but like that's the kind of stuff that actually stands out from the crowd,
Yeah.
and it's unique and different. If you think about what are the commercials that you think about all the time, like you recall and you go, those are the ones that make me laugh or make me like stand out in my mind and I can't get them out of my head. Just watch the Super Bowl on Sunday, and how many of the content in the ad has anything to do with the service?
One of my old bosses always say, if it doesn't risk insult, it's not worth doing.
I love that.
That's Topher's business model.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's a Bud Light commercial or a Dorito commercial that's about Bud Light or Dorito.
No,
Right,
it's
yeah.
frogs do
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
The guy ran through his bedroom door and tried to jump on the bed to
You know who created? But here's a funny story.
stood off the side and out the window.
You want to see the very first beer commercial that changed the world on beer commercials?
No way they're gonna be renewed.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. So this was, so before this video came out, all videos were hops and brewed, and and it was like talking about the beer. And then this little independent brewery in Seattle, Washington, called Rainier Beer came out. Rainier Beer Motors.
I've never had one.
Rainier, the
There it is.
motorcycle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
This is it. So here was the first commercial that redefined commercials, not just beer, but the one that just said, "Oh, it doesn't have to be anything related to
I got
the
a feeling this is a Hal Riney commercial. He's a famous ad guy.
What is it?
It's gotta be 60s, right?
Yeah, it's no 75.
Oh, I have seen this.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
That's Mount Rainier. That was the first beer commercials. They redefined, and then everything else that they were doing were just these silly ass, stupid. They like these guys were the inspiration to the Raisinets, you know.
Rainier salutes the great state of Montana. From the Kalispell to Custer, from Plentywood on down to Livingston, Helena up to Great Falls, and clear out to Glendive and all the great cities, towns, ranches, and big sky country in between. Rainier, Montana's favorite beer, because it's brewed for the big
great.
Montana thirst.
Anyway, got distracted there. All right, let's get back to the website. You get the idea, right? So I want to challenge you to become the Rainier Beer of IT services, right? And all of a sudden, people are going to go, "Wow, these are the coolest IT people I've ever seen." What's yours?
Leave it to the IT guys. Then.
Lending back systems.
This class sucks.
What's that?
So leave it to the IT guys. The two shittiest freaking websites.
Ooh, okay.
There's the yacht.
Oh,
There's a
yeah.
ball. There
Bum,
we go.
bum, bum.
By the way, did that work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so clearly the website's working. By the reaction you
Yeah.
just heard, it's creating something that's pretty badass, right? So
Pointed out.
I love it. The pictures are stretched, which seems bizarre to me. Why is that?
It's just a WordPress site that just hasn't been professionally.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
You do need to change the RV though.
I couldn't find a good one. They didn't have something.
Like the plane's cool, the yacht's cool, that RV's from like
The plane is
1989.
old school too.
Hey, listen. it
Yeah,
doesn't
people
matter
that
if
know
it's old
jets
school.
probably said they're great. Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
there's that.
So, I really do like the graphics up front, home, about us. By the way, even something so subtle as home, about us, then the services, right? It's not as in your face as home,
Services.
right? Yeah. And so we just want to make sure that we make people feel welcome at home. Let's hear about the about us. Okay, so this is an interesting one. If you've got 3 key people on your website, let me just ask you this. When you look at this website, how close do you feel those people are to each other?
Just,
Yeah, they're like not even in the same room kind of a thing.
well, you have
Yep.
2 color and 1 black and white.
So there's an
Yeah,
inconsistency.
Jason actually
there.
died.
Jason-
R.I.P.
In
Jason.
memoriam.
I want to kill him.
Pour a little liquor out for the homies.
So
Did you just
So
say you do want to
if
kill
it
him?
just- this is the importance of just the subtlety of subconscious interpretation. Is that like, are you guys spread out all over the country? Do you not like each other, and that's why your photos aren't
You
together?
guys are divorced.
Even if you actually all had the same headshots on the same day and you had separate pictures, but they had the same continuity, it creates a feeling of congruency and consistency and reliability, as opposed to, we're trying to do this the cheapest way possible. We've just downloaded whatever pictures we can get from LinkedIn profiles, right? So it just doesn't. Like, this is incongruent from that. Oh, it's $1 million yacht,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden we go to,
It's like the other one has music playing.
and this we go.
Yeah, the
wah,
Miami
wah,
Vice
wah,
soundtrack's in the background.
Yeah. So that's the one thing as I would say is you can even have these individual ones, but what really cool is if all 3 of you are together. And that's absolutely worth. This is your brand. It's worth spending a couple $100 getting those
What
photos.
if you guys had your toys in the picture somehow?
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Because like you guys advertise the toys first quarter,
Get
but
like
you
2
can hear.
AKs or
Like
something.
think of the lawyers, right? That like they're on their Harley in the picture. Like I represent you because we're alike. I like Harleys.
Yeah.
You like Harleys. And that resonates with
Talking
people.
about Photoshop Fran.
No, well, I'm just talking about all the different. Yeah, Fran is one.
Like
Like
how
I'm
we,
sure.
like how we got
Yeah.
redneck on us and they're talking about Harleys. I like Harleys, you like Harleys. I have not seen that attorney commercial, but now I want it.
See if I can find the image I'm thinking of here. You guys know in the show Shark Tank, when they start off in the very beginning, and they have this badass picture where they're all standing
Yes.
on a runway in front of their Lear jets.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah.
It would be worth getting a big badass RV, towing a badass yacht, or maybe in the marina or something like that. You probably do something down on Davis Island and get it relatively easy. And it would just create this image. I wish I could. Is this it?
Yeah.
Well, it was from the scene, but behind there's this other one where the jets are behind them.
I'm thinking you played that video the jet flies over them or something.
Yeah.
All right. And like the explosions happen too.
Yeah. Anyway, you get the idea, right? So if you have something like that where you've got these really cool, badass, even something this where it just shows
Yeah,
the
this is
fun.
This one?
These people are.
Yeah, there's the David John one. Show that
Yeah,
one.
this one.
Photoshop the.
Here, that one.
Yeah,
You-
that's
by the
good.
way, you actually
Yeah.
probably could with the right lighting, you could Photoshop it.
Let me Photoshop my
But
logo.
you've got to have something
My
you
logo
know.
on the tail.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you could do that.
You know what
That's
would be
it. Wait, we
Logo
can put a
on the
logo
tail.
on the plant.
You could.
Yeah.
you know what could be neat is for each one of you to have.
Like, hey man, can you pick me up?
You could have one of you with a jet behind you, one of you with a yacht behind you, and one of you with an RV behind you.
By the way, here's DuPont Registry. Is it DuPontRegistry.com? Follow these guys and design your website to look like this. If this is the right one. Yeah, they are.
Getting a Topher, you
Oh,
get
it's shitty. Never mind.
Yeah.
I thought for sure it'd be a great website. What's that?
You getting ready to make a big purchase now? You're gonna hang out on DuPont Registry's website.
I'm good friends with the former president of DuPont Registry. Yeah.
I've got a couple buddies that did sales.
He this guy was he was 19, started working in sales. By 26 was the president of DuPont Registry. 24 and 26 he retired.
Oh.
Yeah. He's one of the most well-balanced, cool guys I've ever met. Never mind, this is a shitty website. I thought for sure they'd have a kick-ass website. This looks like Wheel of Deals or whatever it is. Yeah.
They're not making nearly as much money as they were like 20 years ago.
All right, I've lost your site.
Yeah, what the Prince did.
What's it called again? Lending Associates?
Lending Dash Associates. Because there was a lending associates and
They're mortgage, aren't they?
Nefarious people.
All right.
Bad in California.
Okay, so you've got your three-step process here, but you know what the weird is? You didn't tell me it's a three-step process. Okay. So I'm with Gwen Graham last night at her fundraiser for governor, and she's getting beat up because people are telling her, she's like, how are you going to do that? How are you going to? She goes, I'm really committed to education. I'm really committed to transformation. Yeah, but how are you going to do it, right? And the one guy goes, you need blueprint. And the other guy said, how are you doing? She just couldn't get it. I walked over there and I go, Gwen, people need steps. People love steps. Go, you didn't give me a step. Even if it's a bullshit step, give me steps. All she kept doing is, well, first I got to get me elected. Come on, right? I said, how did Trump win? Trump won on immigration because he has a two-step process to fix immigration. You guys know what his two-step process is to fix immigration? What is it?
Build a wall.
And
Deport people.
build a wall.
No, build a wall
and
and don't let them
get
in.
Mexico to pay for it.
Oh, that's right.
That's his two-step process, basically, right? And it worked. It stuck to where all he had to do was say, we're going to build a wall, and then he point to the audience and go, Mexico's going to pay for it.
And what he would say
It's
is
got
that
3 steps. You can drive, you can fly, or you can
Start-
sail
Yeah.
to lending associates.
Yeah.
everybody
Get
was
what yours-
your
What's that?
What he would say is that if he felt the vibe of the place was down, he would just start going, build a wall.
Build a wall, yeah, and he'd pick him back up again. So I told her, I said, just give me some steps. I go, if you do this, I say, well, the first thing you do is get me elected. The second thing I would do is look at the budget. The third thing I would do is deep dive and find all the stupid spending. The fourth thing I would do is reallocate that spending. The fifth thing I would do is fight like a motherfucker to get that train. That's my steps. I'm fine with that. So tell me, you got a 3-step process to me living my life again. And once again, same feedback I've given everybody else. Get those free. You really want to set a goal within the next 2 weeks to get another page on your WordPress site called free gifts or whatever you want to call it, and start getting those 10 mistakes, 3 mistakes, fashion tips. I don't care if they're crappy and ugly. Done is better than nothing. Right? That's the key here. Because once you start getting it on there, then you're going to start modifying it, making it look good, and getting it out there. So that is your homework for the next 2 weeks, by the way, is to get a gifts portion of your website for you. It's just put something in place of, because you got a good product or prospect, just give me something to make me feel like I like you
Yeah,
before you
I'm
ask me.
gonna do a video.
That
Hey,
makes
this is your gift. You get to see me, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna talk to you.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let me.
I'm firing you tomorrow.
Here's the feedback.